Chapter 605. Heaven Emperor and Spectral Child finally broke their bet. Their murderous nature was triggered. They wanted to start a massacre in the North region to force Xiaofan out. Boom boom, these two geniuses from the immortal world unleashed a terrifying aura. Their bodies were filled with immortal chi and their killing intent was overflowing. This. Big Brother Heaven Emperor, Big Brother Spectral Child, isn't this a bit inappropriate? However, there were a few immortals under Heaven Emperor's command who stood up immediately. Watermark advertisement test pacifying the Southern Sea and killing in the Southern Sea, causing the mortal world to be plunged into misery and suffering, destroying countries and cities. It is really going against the heavenly Tao. Heavenly Tao? Talking about the heavenly Tao to mortals? Spectral Child sneered. How childish. What is heaven? We are heaven. What is Tao? We are Tao. Before we descended, the sect didn't stipulate that we can't kill mortals. This was just an ordinary mortal plane. In the vast universe, who knew how many such planes there were? They were as numerous as the sands of the eternal universe. To our immortal world, the destruction of a plane like this is just a trivial matter. Humph. Don't you want to enter the second layer of Immortal Emperor Ju Dao? Heaven Emperor scolded coldly. Moreover, this plane should be destroyed. Divine Sword Sun and Du Longzi have fallen in this plane. Even if we slaughter all the living beings in this plane, it won't be able to make up for the loss of Divine Sword Sun and Du Longzi. Right now, we are punishing these mortals. Punishing them for their crimes. When we return to the immortal world, we won't be questioned. Even if Jia Lanzi, that sanctimonious guy, tries to stop us, we won't be caught by him. The death of Divine Sword Sun and Du Longzi is an irrefutable fact. The mortals of this plane. They must pay for everything with their blood. Hearing this, the immortals who had objections were all speechless. They all tacitly agreed with Heaven Emperor and Spectral Child's killing plan. Brother Heaven Emperor. Now. It's up to you to declare to the ants of this plane. Make an announcement. Of course, if Xiaofan is willing to stand out himself, perhaps we can still give him a way out. Spectral Child smiled strangely. If we can force Xiaofan out. In that case, I can be lenient with the punishment and only kill a part of the living beings in the northern region to avenge Du Longzi and the Divine Sword Prince. Emperor Heaven's emotions had also calmed down and was no longer troubled by the fact that he could not find Xiaofan. After deciding to kill, Emperor Tsang became even calmer. Suddenly, Emperor Firmament opened his mouth and activated his immortal sense to transmit his voice. It enveloped the entire northern domain, so that the billions upon billions of living beings in the northern domain could hear his peerlessly majestic and supreme words. At the same time, a suffocating and immortal pressure covered the entire northern domain. None of the mortals dared to even breathe loudly. Insignificant mortals of the northern region, I am an immortal who descended from the immortal world. What was an immortal? Perhaps you mortals don't really understand. In that case, I can tell you that immortals are your so-called heavens. When an immortal is enraged, the plane will turn to ashes. Your plane has committed a heinous crime. There are two immortals who were framed and killed by the leader of your plane, Xiaofan. The fall of an immortal in a mortal plane is a matter that caused a great sensation in the immortal world. The wrath of the Heaven Duke. The immortal emperor's halberd finger. Therefore, your plane must be punished. Severely punished. From tomorrow, when the sun rises, I will first carry out the punishment in this northern region. All the people of the northern region will atone for their sins with death. Use your insignificant and insignificant lives to be buried together with the two fallen immortal talents. However, this is also a kind of honor for all of you. As soon as these words came out, the entire northern region fell into a dead silence. Then, there was a wave of mournful cries, desperate whimpers, and trembling voices begging for the forgiveness of the heavens. Under the shroud of Emperor Heaven's aura, Any mortal's heart was filled with despair and could not produce any emotions of resistance. There was only despair. When the sun rises, the blood sacrifice of the northern region. Billions upon billions of living beings will be annihilated. After a pause, Emperor Heaven spoke again. For us immortals, it is true that the lives of mortals are insignificant like ants, pigs, dogs, cows, and sheep. The rise and fall of your mortal country is only a small farce to us immortals. However, the heavens have the virtue of cherishing life. It is human nature that you do not want to die, but your life and death are not in your control. If you want to avoid death, there is only one way. Hand over Xiaofan. Hand over Xiaofan. You can save the lives of billions upon billions of living beings. Ha ha ha. Xiaofan. I know you are hiding among the people of the northern region. Indeed, your concealment is very cunning. Even I can't find you. However, this is just a boring and terrible game. Listen, I don't have time to play with you anymore. The bet between us is invalid now. If you don't appear before tomorrow's sun rises, then I will slaughter trillions of living beings in the northern region. Exterminate your country and your race. Xiaofan, don't you consider yourself the leader of this plane? Whether you will watch the living beings of your plane die and be annihilated, or stand out and save all living beings, it is all up to you. Ha ha ha. Xiaofan, if you don't appear, I will kill you until you do. Kill the northern region, slaughter the western region, crush the eastern region, sweep the great wilderness. Kill. Kill all the mortals of this plane. Xiaofan, your wife and children, your sect, your friends and family, all of them will die in front of you. Ha 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 ha. I don't believe that you won't come out. Emperor Heaven let out an evil and crazy voice. The temperature of the entire northern region plummeted. Muffled thunder rumbled through the sky. The northern region was in chaos. It was a complete and utter mess. In the room where Jia Lanzi and Wu Bai were. Humph. Preposterous. Emperor Heaven and Master Nether Spirit, this pair of scum of the immortal world, actually want to slaughter all living beings in the northern region to force Xiaofan out. They completely tore up the bet between them and Xiaofan. What's the difference between them and demons? Jia Lanzi was completely enraged. A dignified immortal dares to threaten to slaughter all living beings in the northern region. How outrageous! Wu Bai, Xiao Mingchu, and the others were also filled with righteous indignation. However, they were powerless to resist Emperor Heaven's atrocities. They could only look at Jia Lanzi for help. Don't worry. I, Jia Lanzi, am here. I won't let Emperor Heaven and Master Nether Spirit succeed. Jia Lanzi stood tall and straight, his entire body surging with immortal qi. Awe-inspiring. At this moment, Xiaofan was also furious. Xiaofan never thought that Emperor Heaven and the other immortals would lose their last bit of grace. They were completely torn apart. This Emperor Heaven is really despicable to the extreme. He used unscrupulous means to invite helpers to deal with me. I didn't expect that he would actually want to slaughter the northern region now. Crazy killing intent. From the depths of Xiaofan's heart, it gushed out like a volcano. The terrifying sound of demonic power surging erupted from the demon monarch tattoo on his left arm. The 40 demon dragons roared and roared at the same time. It was a bloodthirsty madness. Kill. Kill all these immortals. Soon, Xiaofan completely calmed down, and the corner of his mouth pulled up into an almost demonic sneer. Yes, before the sun rises tomorrow. Kill all the immortals. Emperor Heaven, you forced me to do this. On the palm of Xiaofan's left arm, thousands of demonic arts and forbidden techniques were stirring. Late at night. In the sky. Listen, before the sun rises tomorrow, if Xiaofan still hasn't appeared, then we'll attack together and slaughter the mortals of this plane. Emperor Heaven ordered the dozens of loyal immortals under his command. In order to get the quota to enter the second floor of the Ju Dao Immortal Emperor's treasure, we must take some extreme measures. As for Master Nether Spirit, he was also giving orders to the nearly 100 immortals that he brought over. Before the sun rises, we'll also attack. Although killing ants is very boring, in order to force Xiaofan out, we can only reluctantly do it. At this moment, boom! A stream of light soared into the sky. Immortal chi and auspicious clouds rolled. Jia Lanzi's face was solemn and solemn. He slowly rose up and stared at Emperor Heaven, Master Nether Spirit, and the other immortals. Oh? Jia Lanzi? Emperor Heaven glanced at Jia Lanzi and teased. I didn't expect that even you couldn't sit still and arrived at the northern region. Ha ha ha. Brother Jia Lanzi, hello, hello. Master Nether Spirit looked at Jia Lanzi with a fake smile. Emperor Heaven, Master Nether Spirit, you too are scum of the immortal world. How dare you do evil in the mortal world? If you dare to kill mortals, you will be breaking the balance of all things in the world and breaking the laws of nature. You will definitely be severely punished. Jia Lanzi said sternly. Nonsense. Emperor Heaven's expression changed and said sinisterly. Jia Lanzi, put away that sanctimonious face of yours. Punishment from the immortal world? Why would the immortal world punish me, Emperor Heaven? Humph. Divine Sword Sun and Du Longzi are both young talents of the immortal world. It is not impossible for them to become immortal emperors in the future. They actually died in this mortal world. If I destroy this plane now, not only will the immortal world not punish me, but they will also reward me. Divine Sword Sun and Du Longzi, any one of them is worth more than 10, 100, or even 1,000 of such mortal worlds. Jia Lanzi, scram as far as you can. Master Nether Spirit sneered. Do you think that with your strength alone, you can stop me from joining forces with Emperor Heaven? If you say another word of nonsense, I will destroy you too. At this moment, swoosh! 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 Dozens of immortal lights soared into the sky. Tao Tai, black and white, and dozens of other immortals also flew up and stood beside Jia Lanzi. Emperor Heaven, Master Nether Spirit, you two are too much. Tao Tai roared. Brother Jia Lanzi, let's fight side by side. Black and white said. Ha 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 ha, you want to fight? Heaven laughed. Jia Lanzi, then let's fight. If we fight with all our strength, the northern region will be destroyed. The aftermath of our battle is enough to destroy all living things in the northern region. Then, the slaughter of the northern region will also have your credit. Ha ha ha. Let's fight. Don't act rashly. Jia Lanzi also knew the serious consequences of a fight between the two sides. In an instant, the two sides were in a deadlock. However, at this moment, Brother Jia Lanzi, in Jia Lanzi's sea of consciousness, Xiaofan's soul transmission suddenly sounded. Brother Jia Lanzi, you don't have to worry about this matter anymore. Leave it to me, Brother Xiao. Jia Lanzi also used soul waves to transmit his voice to Xiaofan. This matter is urgent. Brother Xiao, are you prepared to stand up and sacrifice yourself in exchange for the safety of the northern region? Brother Jia Lanzi, I am not sacrificing myself. I want to kill Emperor Heaven and the others. Xiaofan's voice was extremely cold. I want to start a massacre. Chapter 606. Just as Jia Lanzi led Tao Tai Zi and the other immortals to confront Heaven's Son and Spectral Child, Xiaofan sent a soul message to Jia Lanzi. In fact, there were more than 200 immortals in Jia Lanzi's and Heaven's Son's camps. If they were to fight, the spatial crystal wall of this mortal plane would explode. All the mortals would die, and this plane would be destroyed. Therefore, Xiaofan stepped forward to stop Jia Lanzi. Moreover, Xiaofan's killing intent had risen. He had decided to wipe out this group of despicable immortals with his own strength. He wanted them all to fall and be buried in this plane. He wanted to kill to his heart's content. Xiaofan did not want others to do it. As for Jia Lanzi, he suddenly heard Xiaofan's soul message. After confirming that Xiaofan was safe, he felt relieved. But soon, he had an urgent discussion with Xiaofan. "Brother Xiao, are we going to start a massacre?" "What do you mean?" "Brother Jia Lanzi, I really didn't expect that these scum of the immortal world are more than 100 times filthier than mortals. They want to massacre cities and destroy countries. Heaven's Son and the others deserve to die." Xiaofan's voice was cold. "Indeed." Jia Lanzi did not deny it. After a pause, Jia Lanzi cautiously said, "However, Brother Xiao, to kill Heaven's Son and the others, we must leave this plane and fight in the vast universe. If he were to engage in a fierce battle with them on this plane, the aftermath of the battle would instantly destroy this plane. At that time, not only will the people of the northern region die, but even the people of the southern, western, and great wilderness will not survive. The situation will develop to a tragic point." "Brother Jia Lanzi, I understand your concerns. But, this time, Brother Jia Lanzi, Brother Tao Tai, and the others, don't get involved. All of you, step down. I will kill Son of Heaven and the other evil and heartless immortals by myself." "What?" Jia Lanzi was shocked. "How is this possible?" Jia Lanzi was completely dumbfounded by Xiaofan's words. He was completely dumbfounded. One should know that Xiaofan was immortal. Although he had many fortuitous encounters and created the Starry Sky Dominator body and Thunder God Tyrant body, his physical body had reached 40 dragons of immortal strength. His physical attack and defense had both reached 40 dragons of celestial force. However, in a head-on confrontation, he would never be able to contend against Heaven Emperor with his dual-elemental immortal physique. If Emperor Tsang were to reveal his trump card, Xiaofan would not even have the ability to protect himself, let alone defeat Emperor Tsang. Xiaofan had killed the Divine Sword Sun and Du Longzi by relying on the element of surprise. However, the death of these two immortals must have attracted the attention of the Son of Heaven. Although the Son of Heaven was arrogant, his thoughts were meticulous. It was impossible for him to make the same mistake as Shen Jianzi and Du Longzi. Xiaofan wanted to kill Emperor Tsang. Absolutely impossible. Not to mention, in Son of Heaven's camp, there was also Phantom Spirit, who was almost on par with him and was good at spiritual power and had unpredictable attacking methods. Strictly speaking, even Jia Lanzi was more fearful of this spectral child. This was Jia Lanzi's assessment. If he had to fight to the death, he would definitely choose Heaven's Son instead of Master Spectre. As long as Xiaofan appeared, the two immortals, Son of Heaven and Son of Spectral Spirit, would definitely be able to capture Xiaofan without any suspense. Moreover, under Son of Heaven, there were dozens of loyal immortals. Master Spectre had also brought nearly 100 immortals. Such a huge force was not something a mortal like Xiaofan could contend against. To put it bluntly, even Jia Lanzi, who had countless trump cards and a strong foundation. It was impossible for one person to destroy the forces of Son of Heaven and Master Spectre. "Brother Xiao, I know that you hate Heaven's Son and Nether Spirit to the bone. However, Brother Xiao, please don't be impulsive. In short, it's absolutely impossible for me to stand idly by and watch the innocent people of this plane be slaughtered." Jia Lanzi hurriedly consoled. "Brother Jia Lanzi." Xiaofan smiled. "Do you think that I, Xiaofan, have lost my mind from anger? No, Brother Jia Lanzi, you really shouldn't interfere in this matter anymore. If you interfere and a war breaks out, this plane will be destroyed, and I." "Ha ha ha." Xiaofan suddenly burst into laughter, causing Jia Lanzi to be stunned. "Then, now that things have come to this, I will tell some secrets to Brother Jia Lanzi," Xiaofan said mysteriously. "Secrets?" Jia Lanzi was completely attracted by Xiaofan's words. "What secrets?" "Brother Jia Lanzi, do you really think that I can rely on my own strength to hide from Son of Heaven's pursuit in these few months? Do you think that I can rely on my own strength to kill these nearly 200 immortals in front of me? No. I am just a mortal. A mortal who had a little bit of a fortuitous encounter. I will not be arrogant to the point of wanting to kill a group of immortals. That is not arrogance, that is stupidity. I made a friend from the demon realm. Now, this friend from the demon realm has stayed by my side and has been taking care of me. However, he will soon be leaving this plane and returning to the demon realm. It is because of the help of this friend from the demon realm that I have the foundation to contend with Son of Heaven and the other immortals for several months. And now, Son of Heaven has threatened to destroy the people of this plane, which has also angered this friend from the demon realm. This friend from the demon realm has personally told me that before he leaves this plane and returns to the demon realm, he will destroy Son of Heaven and the other immortals. Xiaofan began to spout nonsense. If he wanted to make a move, he would definitely use demonic techniques. This would definitely attract Jia Lanzi's attention. If Jia Lanzi investigated the secret of the demon emperor's palm on Xiaofan's left arm and even discovered the secret of Xiaofan's heart, then the situation would be very dangerous for Xiaofan. Therefore, Xiaofan's fabricated friend from the demon realm was just enough to confuse Jia Lanzi. As expected, Jia Lanzi was immediately shocked by Xiaofan's words. What? Friend from the demon realm? This. Brother Xiao, this is too sudden. Jia Lanzi's face was completely filled with confusion. How can a great demon from the demon realm descend to a secular plane? The high-level demon clans of the demon realm are the same as us immortals. They cannot descend to the lower realm easily. Otherwise, the mortal world will be directly contaminated by their demonic aura and become Azura hell. Brother Jia Lanzi, I also do not know how this friend from the demon realm descended. But, Brother Jia Lanzi, you can rest assured that I have not conspired with the demon clans, nor have I harmed any innocent mortals. I have a clear conscience when I do things. Moreover, this friend from the demon realm, ever since he descended, he has always concealed his identity and has not sucked the brains of mortals. He told me that he belongs to a rather special branch in the demon realm. The demon clans of this branch do not easily suck the brains of humans. They seem to rely on some heavenly treasure or some exotic fruit to survive. Ah! It's a branch of the ancient demon clans. They are extremely mysterious and do not like the brains of humans. However, their demonic powers are extremely strong. They do not make a move, but once they do, they can slaughter immortals. So it's this faction of demon clans that descended. Befriending Brother Xiao. There's actually such a thing. Jia Lanzi was increasingly shocked. Xiaofan did not know whether to laugh or cry in his heart. He had casually fabricated a demon clan that did not eat brains, but there was actually such a demon clan in the upper realm. Yes. Brother Jia Lanzi, this friend from the demon realm. He once said that he seemed to belong to the ancient demon clan, a demon clan that has almost been lost. Yes, it's the ancient demon clan, that's right. Xiaofan seized the opportunity and said again. Brother Jia Lanzi, this matter has already reached this point. It's already a matter of life and death. Don't interfere. If you interfere, the war is inevitable. The war of immortals. The mortals will suffer. I admit that I am not strong enough and will not interfere. Leave it to my friend from the demon realm. After dealing with Heaven's Son and the others, my friend from the demon realm will leave this plane and secretly return to the demon realm. If that's the case. Jia Lanzi. His mind was completely in a mess. Since ancient times, the demon clans and demon clans were irreconcilable enemies. If Jia Lanzi allowed a demon clan to kill immortals, it was indeed somewhat unacceptable. Brother Jia Lanzi. Step down. Are you willing to watch all the common people of my plane be annihilated and watch the innocent mortals turn into ashes? Pedantic. Xiaofan's voice also became fierce and domineering. This plane cannot be destroyed. As for a fellow with the heart of a wolf like Heaven's Son, if he does not die today, he will be a great disaster in the future. Brother Jialanzi, even if you kill Heaven's Son and the other immortals today without destroying the plane, I'm afraid that when you return to the celestial realm, it will be hard to explain. Moreover, with my friend from the demon realm taking action, the life and death of Heaven's Son and the others will be clear of Brother Jialanzi's responsibility. Brother Jialanzi, step down. Xiaofan urged his mental power, and in Jialanzi's sea of consciousness, he let out a furious voice. Jialanzi's mind raced as he looked down at the northern region. It was as if he could see the pitiful and despairing eyes of countless mortals. Forget it, I will stay out of this first. After the demon clan has dealt with Heaven's Son and Yulingzi, I will confront the demon clan head-on. After all, the demon clan is a different species. Even if it is a branch of the ancient demon clan, if they don't suck brains, they are still incompatible with us immortals. Of course, I trust Brother Xiao's character. It's impossible for Brother Xiao to be in cahoots with the demons. Brother Xiao, can your demon clan friend really deal with Heaven's Son and the others? Moreover, will the aftermath of the battle affect the life and death of this plane? Brother Jialanzi, you don't have to worry about this. The plane will not be affected in the slightest, and Heaven's Son and the others will definitely die. Forget it. Finally, Jialanzi waved his hand. Brother Taotai, let's step down. What? Brother Jialanzi, step down. Taotai, Black and White Z, and the other immortals were puzzled and shocked. Brother Jialanzi, are we going to stay out of this and watch Heaven's Son and Yulingzi torment all living beings? All of you, step down. Jialanzi sighed. Everyone, if we fight head-on, this plane will also be destroyed. Forget it, step down. Brother Xiao has already discussed this matter with me. Brother Xiao will deal with it. This Jialanzi indeed had great prestige among the younger generation of the immortal world. Under his repeated requests, Taotai and the other righteous immortals did not say much. Therefore, Jialanzi led dozens of immortals and retreated one after another. Ha 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 ha, Jialanzi, you trash. Heaven's Son roared sternly. I thought you would really dare to go against the law and stop me from dealing with these insignificant mortals. It seems that I have overestimated you. Ha 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 ha. Get lost. Brother Heaven's Son, the sun is about to rise, and our slaughter is about to begin. Yulingzi looked at the dawn of the eastern sky, and the corner of his mouth pulled into a cold and sinister smile. Xiaofan, this time, let's see if you will come out or not. Chapter 607. The retreat of Jialanzi and the other immortals further fueled the arrogance of Son of Heaven, Master Yuling, and the other immortals, making them even more unscrupulous. At this moment, the eastern sky had already begun to brighten. The sun was about to rise and a new day was about to begin. In the past, such a moment would definitely represent hope and prosperity. But now, it represented withering, representing the arrival of the god of death. All living beings in the northern domain, regardless of whether they were noble or lowly, looked east, eyes filled with shock and despair. They were all praying that a new day would never come. Jialanzi and the other immortals had already retreated to the main peak of a certain mountain range in the northern region. Brother Jialan, you're saying that Brother Xiaofan will personally make an appearance. But Son of Heaven and Child Netherspirit joining hands, their forces are enormous. Once Brother Xiao appears, it's the same as sending a lamb into the tiger's mouth. Taotai said with incomparable worry. Jialanzi said in a low voice, Everyone, don't be rash. Something extraordinary might happen in a while. I hope that everyone can remain calm and not interfere for now. Something out of the ordinary? Taotai and the other immortals were stunned. In short, let's wait and see first. Jia Lanzi said solemnly. Finally. The first ray of light in the morning had parted the darkness. He had arrived in the northern region. The entire north region was deathly silent. Every living being in the north region held their breaths and suffocated. In the sky. Xiaofan. Ha ha ha. What a joke. He was nothing but a coward. Ha 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 ha. The Son of Heaven let out an incomparably sarcastic sneer. This laughter. It circled between the heavens and the earth. You keep saying that you're the master of the plane, that you're the leader. Ha 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 ha, but you'd rather all of the northern divine region perish than show your face. What a joke. You mortals, ants, you still think of Xiaofan as your spiritual leader? In the secular world, countless temples were built to worship Xiaofan. But in the end, did Xiaofan save them? Ha ha ha. Alright, brother Tsangtianzi, let's begin the slaughter. Spectral Child licked his lips as his deep eyes burned with a cold flame that resembled the ghostly flames of hell. Once they start killing and seeing blood, Xiaofan won't be able to keep his cool. Even if he didn't come out, there was a chance that he would expose himself. It allowed me to find the essence of his soul. Good, let's begin to destroy these mortals. Master Ashen Heaven nodded. In that case, Big Brother Heaven Sun, I'll make the first move. I'll destroy the strongest empire in the northern region, the Aurora Empire, a one-eyed celestial under Heaven Sun said with a sinister smile. I've cultivated a mysterious immortal technique. When I kill people, I can corrode their flesh, blood, internal organs, and vitality, leaving only human skin. Now, I can turn hundreds of millions of people of the Aurora Empire into exquisite human skin. However, right at this moment, a scorching demonic chi surged into the skies from a certain part of the north region. Densely packed ancient demon characters blossomed. Decadent music, demonic music, began to envelop the entire north region, filling the heavens and earth with demonic chi and darkness. What? Demonic chi? There are demons. Heaven Sun's expression changed. Brother Heaven Sun, this demonic chi is very pure and powerful. It should be a great demon that descended from the demon world. Master Ghost roared immediately. I never thought that there would be a great demon hiding in the mortal world. Heaven Sun, Master Ghost, all of you immortals, today, I will consign all of you to eternal damnation. The cold and evil voice seemed to descend from the sky, but it also seemed to come from all directions. At the next moment, in the sky of the north region, 999 rays of light pierced through the sky from the east, south, west, and north. Auspicious aura descended and flowers rained down. A tall and slender man strolled over from a rainbow bridge. He was empty-handed, but he was incomparably majestic. His eyes were filled with the aura of a sovereign overlooking the world. This man was about 20 years old. He was extremely tall and his back was straight like a sword or a spear. His hair was tied into a bun with a wooden hairpin passing through it. The lines on his face were extremely demonic, giving off a sense of evil to the bones. His eyes were filled with a murderous and decisive aura. Especially deep in his eyes, there was a glow of the demon world, like two bottomless pits that wanted to devour people. This man was naturally Xiaofan's disguise by activating the reincarnation technique. In just one move, he had shocked Heaven Sun, Master Ghost, and the others. Xiaofan's demon monarch palm on his left arm pushed his demonic energy to the extreme. Not only did he use the reincarnation technique, but he also used a demonic technique that increased his aura. This caused the immortals to make a mistake in their evaluation. They almost thought that Xiaofan was a high-level demon that had descended from the demon world. You're a demon. In front of the aura deliberately created by Xiaofan, Heaven Sun suddenly became dispirited and his face turned slightly pale. Which demon monarch in the upper realm are you a subordinate of? How did you open the spatial passage and descend here? How dare you, demon? Shut up, Xiaofan said coldly. One more word and I'll eat you right away. A violent aura swept out like a tornado. It actually forced Heaven's Son to choke up, and he couldn't say a word anymore. Master Ghost took a step forward and asked in confusion. Demon. I don't think I've heard of someone like you in the upper realm. Forget it, now that the immortal world has something to do in the mortal world, it's not the time to slay demons. Hurry up and go back to the demon world. Otherwise, we'll join forces to slay the demon and you'll die without a burial place. Ha 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 ha, Xiaofan let out a burst of laughter. His demonic voice was endless in all directions, making one's intestines tremble. What idiots! You're just a bunch of insignificant level 2 true immortals. How dare you roar in front of me? Ha ha ha. I'm the demon monarch who specializes in killing immortals. You scum, I'll kill you like slaughtering pigs and dogs. Xiaofan activated the 40 demonic dragon strength in his demon monarch palm. He also used a demonic technique that increased his aura. When he faced Heaven's Son and the other immortals, he actually felt like he had the power to kill them. This made Xiaofan very happy. The killing intent in his heart became stronger and stronger until it was uncontrollable. On the mountain where Jialanzi was. Hiss. A large group of immortals gasped one after another. Unbelievable. There's actually such a great demon. The black and white child said in horror. It's Brother Zhao's friend. This great demon is Brother Zhao's friend. Jialanzi said helplessly, I didn't expect Brother Xiao to befriend such a terrifying demon monarch. The demonic strength of this demon monarch is at least on par with a level 4 or level 5 true immortal in the immortal world. Xiaofan's reincarnation technique was truly miraculous. Until now, Jialanzi did not realize that this demon monarch was actually his younger brother Xiaofan in disguise. Brother Jialanzi. What should we do now? Help Heaven's Son and Phantom Child to fight against this great demon? The black and white child frowned. I don't think there's a need. Fish Seedling said. Heaven's Son and Phantom Child are not good people. They were not good people either, so why should he help them? They've been arrogant their whole lives. It's just the right time for them to suffer a little in the hands of this great demon. Jialanzi thought for a moment and said in a deep voice. Don't interfere for the time being. Let this great demon deal with Heaven's Son and the others. It's best to force Heaven's Son and the others to not dare to act rashly here or even scram back to the immortal world. After that, I'll communicate with Brother Xiao. We can either subdue the great demon directly or let Brother Xiao send this great demon back to the demon realm. After a pause, Jialanzi's eyes slightly narrowed. As for now, this great demon is in a state of peak demonic strength. If we rashly eliminate it with just our strength, I'm afraid we'll pay a terrible price. This is a great demon that can fight against a level 4 or level 5 true immortal. Moreover, since it could descend from the demon realm, it must have a secret treasure on it. Therefore, let's wait and see for now, in the sky. Heaven's Son, Phantom Child, and the other immortals also felt the strength of the great demon in front of them. A sense of powerlessness actually rose in their immortal hearts. Ha ha ha, are you all afraid? Xiaofan laughed fiercely. What a joke. Just a moment ago, you all threatened to slaughter all living beings in the northern region. But now, you're cowering and trembling. Is this what immortals are like? Immortals who only know how to bully the weak and fear the strong? Ha ha ha. Xiaofan no longer hid or held back his demonic strength. It was released wantonly and freely, suppressing everything. Moreover, at this moment, the demon god's soul in his heart also transmitted a hearty thought. An irrepressible murderous intent spread out from the demon egg. The sun has risen. Xiaofan looked at the eastern sky and murmured. Then, all of you shall die. Demon race. Heaven's Son screamed. Don't get carried away. Yes, judging from your demonic strength and aura, you're indeed powerful. However, this is a mortal plane. Once we start fighting, the space crystal wall of this plane will directly shatter. I'm afraid you'll be crushed into pieces in the turbulence of space. Moreover, although our realms are not as high as yours, we all carry magical treasures and immortal weapons bestowed by our sections. In this northern region, there are hundreds of immortals. If we gang up on you, even if you're a great demon from the demon realm, you'll still die. Oh? Xiaofan smiled slightly. Seeing Xiaofan's slight hesitation, Heaven's Son also smiled and said, Demon race, this is the human world. We immortals have to punish and kill mortals. Don't tell me you're going to stand up for these ants. Ha ha ha. Forget it, let's each take a step back. You can return to the demon realm and we'll torture and kill mortals. We have nothing to do with each other. However, if you want to taste the brains of mortals, we won't have any objections. You can do as you please. Ha 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 ha. Hearing this, Xiaofan was so anxious and furious that he finally released his terrifying murderous intent without concealing it. All of you, die. Die in this mortal plane. Boom! A demonic light flashed on Xiaofan's left arm. Suddenly, the world spun and countless rays of demonic aura rushed out, causing the space to become illusory. The next moment, the space stabilized. After a short while, Heaven's Son, Spectral Child, and the others regained their senses. When they released their immortal senses again, they found that they had actually arrived in an isolated city. What is this place? It seems that we've been teleported out of the northern region by some spatial laws? Heaven's Son frowned. At this moment, welcome, immortals. Now that you've arrived in this Emperor's demon city, from now on, your life and death will be decided by this Emperor. A cold and bloodthirsty voice resounded above this isolated city. To be continued. Chapter 608. In order to kill Emperor Firmament, Phantom Spirit, and the other immortals, Xiaofan finally used an extremely powerful demon technique, Demon City. Xiaofan had obtained the demonic art One Demon City from an ultimate mutated demon emperor in the demon capital of this plane. Back then, when he participated in Yan Lang's birthday ceremony, Yan Lang created a trial, and one of the checkpoints was guarded by this ultimate variant demon emperor. Activating the Demon City, he trapped countless demon sovereigns, killing them and toying with them as he pleased. This was an extremely powerful demon technique. The ultimate variant demon emperor who possessed this demon technique was known as the strongest existence below the demon emperor in this plane. Of course, this demon technique was far from enough to deal with immortals. But now, Xiaofan's left arm had fused with the demon monarch palm and the demonic meridians, giving birth to 40 demonic dragons. In terms of demonic power, he was tens of thousands of times more powerful than the ultimate mutated demon emperor, who had mastered the One Demon City demonic art. Therefore, this demonic art had turned something rotten into something magical and had the divine power to trap immortals. One had to know that Xiaofan's current demonic power was boundless, equivalent to a level 4 or 5 perfected immortal in the immortal realm. Moreover, he was proficient in thousands of demon techniques and forbidden demon techniques. His left arm was also inlaid with many powerful demon techniques. However, among all the demonic arts that Xiaofan had mastered, it was difficult to find a terrifying immortal art that could instantly kill nearly 200 immortals like Heaven Emperor and Ghost Spirit. Moreover, Xiaofan's demonic power was definitely not enough to kill 100 immortals in one move. Moreover, once the battle started, he would unscrupulously use the demon techniques and forbidden techniques to fight against the immortal techniques and magic treasures of Emperor Firmament and the others. There was no doubt about it. This plane would definitely be destroyed. After pondering for a while, Xiaofan decided to use the Demon City demonic technique. The Demon City could first trap the immortals and then kill them one by one. Moreover, Demon City had some traces of the law of space, so the battle in the Demon City would not affect this plane. It would not hurt the innocent. In other words, Xiaofan could kill these immortals in a Demon City without making a sound. In the void of the city, Xiaofan sat cross-legged. His face and eyes exuded the aura of a monarch, ruling over everything and determining life and death. This is my city, I'm in charge here. I'm in charge of the lives and deaths of immortals. This is the power of life and death. However, Xiaofan couldn't kill anyone right now. This was because after he used the Demon City secret skill, Xiaofan had expended too much of his demonic energy. If he killed the immortals now, the city would be destroyed by Heaven Emperor and the other immortals. He quietly recovered his demonic energy. Wait for an opportunity. Seize the opportunity. A one-hit kill. Demon City. Silence. At this moment, Heaven Emperor, Yu Ling, and the other immortals were pacing in the silent and uninhabited city. The faces of these immortals were filled with confusion. The city was very large, but there was no sign of life. The ancient mottled city walls, the dusty streets, and on both sides of the streets, there were empty restaurants, rouge shops, wineries, a vulgar and dilapidated brothel called Full Spring Courtyard, weapon shops, stables, and elixir shops that emitted the lingering fragrance of medicinal herbs. As the wind blew, tattered red lanterns flew all over the street. Going around the long street, one would also see some rotten bones scattered in the corner. Next to the bones were alms bowls, bamboo poles, and other tools used for begging. This place looks like a deserted city of the mortal world. Heaven Emperor was indeed an outstanding existence among the younger generation of the immortal world. He had the air of a general. After a brief moment of panic, he calmed down and a cold smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. It seems that the great demon used a spatial demonic technique to bring us away from the northern region. But it doesn't matter. We have more than 100 immortals here. Each of us is full of immortal energy and we have life-saving treasures given by our sections. It's more than enough to deal with a demon that's equivalent to a level 4 or level 5 true immortal. That's right, Brother Heaven Son, you're right. Even if we're facing a level 5 or even level 6 true immortal, with you and Brother Spectral Child here, we might not necessarily lose if we gang up on them, let alone a monster that's weaker than a level 6 true immortal. The few immortals who were loyal to Heaven Son said disapprovingly after catching their breath. Wait. Suddenly, Spectre's face turned cold. His eyes emitted a strange beam of mental energy that seemed to be able to penetrate the layers of space in the city. Everyone, this city isn't as simple as it looks. It looks like a deserted human city, but it's filled with demonic energy. This is a demon city. Moreover, this demon city seems to be located in a special spatial crevice. There are formations and restrictions everywhere, causing my mental force and immortal sense to be unable to cover the entire demon city. My mental force and immortal sense can only extend to an extremely small space. Moreover, the space of this city is filled with all kinds of illusory formations and mazes, distorting my mental force and immortal sense at all times. Oh! Heaven Emperor and the other immortals were slightly startled. Then, they released their immortal sense as well, hiss. Indeed, my immortal sense is almost blocked as well. I can only detect an area with a radius of tens of meters. The law of space in this city is extremely strange. It seems to be controlled by a mysterious force. This is bad. It seems like we've been trapped. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, in the blink of an eye, more than 10 immortals flew into the sky above the city, but I can't fly out. The sky above the city is densely packed with a sea of clouds. It's a hazy and boundless expanse. Big Brother Heaven Son, Big Brother Spectre, we are indeed trapped. Brother Yuling, this should be an extremely powerful demonic technique, Emperor Tsang said as if he had realized something. Spectral Child sneered. It's fine. To use such a Yao art to trap us, it's impossible. It would definitely consume a huge amount of demonic aura. Now, let's search around the city. As long as we can find the core of the city and destroy it, the city will collapse on its own. Alright. Then, under the leadership of Sun Heaven and Child Spectre, nearly 200 immortals arrived. He started searching the demon city. High above the heavens, in the unseen world. Xiaofan sat down cross-legged. He looked down at everything in the city. In this city, there are 81 illusory maze formations, 49 offensive formations, and 25 defensive formations. These formations have become extremely powerful because of the sudden increase in my demonic aura. They are far more powerful than the formations controlled by the city-toppling demon monarch. Moreover, activating these formations consumes demonic aura. I can deal with them. You want to find the flaws of the formations? Heh. I'll let you guys search slowly until my demonic aura recovers to a certain extent. I'm going to start hunting. Xiaofan's lips curled into a sneer. Outside a demon city, Jialanzi, Taotai, and many other immortals were also shocked and at a loss. Originally, they were all waiting for the battle to break out. Because the battle between this inexplicable, great demon, and Immortal's Firmament Emperor and the other immortals was already inevitable. In fact, Jialanzi had already arranged everything. When the battle broke out, he, Taotai, and the other immortals would immediately use their immortal techniques to control the aftermath of the battle so that it would not spread and harm the innocent civilians of the northern region. Jialanzi had also contacted the immortals who were wandering in the northern region's markets to watch the show. At this moment, there were at least 100 immortals around Jialanzi. All of them had nodded and were willing to use their immortal strength to control the aftermath of the battle. However, at this critical moment, the great demon, Heaven's Son, Spectre Child, and nearly 200 immortals suddenly disappeared. They disappeared without a trace. Without leaving a trace. What's going on? Jialanzi frowned, his face full of shock. Disappeared? All of a sudden, and there's absolutely no sign of teleportation. Taotai, Black and White, and the other immortals were also perplexed. Wait. Suddenly, Jialanzi's eyes focused on the place where Heaven's Son and the other immortals were, and he swept his immortal consciousness. They didn't disappear. Heaven's Son, Spectre Child, and the others didn't disappear. They seemed to have been sealed in a special space. As soon as his voice fell, whoosh, Jialanzi turned into an immortal light and soared into the sky. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, Taotai, Black and White, and the other immortals followed closely behind. In the vast void, there was a tiny city floating in the air. It was about the size of a palm, overflowing with colorful lights and dense demon chi. Jialanzi's immortal consciousness condensed, and his eyes burst out a beam of light that shone through the ages, staring directly at the small demon city. Heaven's Son, Spectre Child, and the others are trapped inside this demon city. Jialanzi said solemnly. Terrifying, this demon technique is indeed extraordinary. A great demon is indeed a great demon. Powerful, too powerful. This. An immortal said with a worried expression. Big brother Jialanzi, why don't we enter this demon city and take a look? Although Heaven's Son and Spectre Child are not well behaved, we are all people of the immortal world. Now that they are trapped by a great demon. This doesn't seem right, Jialanzi said in a deep voice. We can't go in. This demon city is filled with a large number of mazes and illusions. Even my immortal consciousness was lost in them when it penetrated a little. It's very difficult for us to go in. Of course, it's also very difficult for Heaven's Son and the others to come out, in Demon City. Heaven's Son, Spectre Child, and the others wandered in the city for almost an hour, but they were still trapped on a long street. They walked back and forth, but they still couldn't get out of the long street. Brother. Big brother Heaven's Son, big brother Spectre Child. It really is a maze. several immortals said with slight apprehension. We walked back and forth, but we still can't get out. It seems that we are trapped, Brother Spectre Child, what do you think? Heaven's Son also looked at Spectre Child with a slightly anxious expression. These mazes are not to be underestimated. It seems that in order to break the maze, we must be stronger. Spectre Child took a deep breath. It's relatively difficult to find the array eye of the maze. Then, let's attack. Directly attack. Break this maze. To be continued. Chapter 609. Inside the Demon City. Heaven's Son, Spectral Child, and the other immortals were trapped here. Layers upon layers of mazes made it impossible for them to extricate themselves for a while. Ibdu, however, with Spectral Child's powerful mental strength, he also discovered the mystery of the Demon City. It's a maze. Spectral Child was extremely certain. This Demon City was set up by an extremely powerful demonic technique. Although my mental strength and soul power have solidified, it's still not enough to see through the formation eye. Let's forcefully break this maze. Okay. Heaven's Son and the other immortals immediately agreed. The next moment, boom. 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 Various immortal techniques, magical treasures, and immortal weapons bombarded the long street in a frenzy. The long street was distorted and space was in disorder. The street, which was originally hundreds of meters long, was constantly shortened. 80 meters. 50 meters. 30 meters, space was fragmented and the sound of the formation collapsing was endless. Ha 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 ha, what demonic technique. Let's join forces and directly blast it apart. Heaven's Son's tense mood finally relaxed. He directly grabbed with his right hand and the immortal chi formed tornadoes, destroying heaven and earth, almost shattering the street. Swoosh swoosh swoosh, a mental storm burst out from Spectral Child's eyes, causing the space crystal wall to ripple and shatter like glass. Not long after, I finally found the formation eye. Spectral Child roared repeatedly. Sure enough, a small formation had appeared in a spatial crevice on the long street. At the core, there was a mass of demonic chi rising. That was the formation eye. Break. Spectral Child glared and a light beam condensed, blasting towards the mass of demonic chi. Poochie. The demonic chi was obliterated. Space changed. The immortals' vision blurred and then found that the area they were in was no longer the long street, but the foot of a lonely mountain. Where are we teleported to now? Heaven's Son was slightly stunned and then said. Brother Spectral Child. Just now, we broke a maze in this demon city, right? Yes, I've solved a maze. Spectral Spirit nodded his head with certainty. Then, he looked into the distant horizon. However, if I'm not wrong, the number of mazes in this demon city has reached 81. We've cleared one labyrinth, but there are still 80 of them left. We must clear all of them. Only by destroying all of them can we destroy the entire demon city. There are still 80 labyrinths? Heaven Emperor Tsang only paused for a moment before replying indifferently. It's no big deal. Earlier, we joined forces to attack a single labyrinth. In the blink of an eye, we destroyed it. 80 labyrinths? Ha ha ha. In about a few hours, I will be able to break them all. Even if there were 800 or 8,000 mazes, it wouldn't be a problem for us. The immortals nodded in agreement. Yes, if there were only 1 or 2 immortals trapped in the city, it would take a long time to break through a maze. However, we have close to 200 people. Breaking through the maze is a piece of cake. Master Spectral nodded in agreement. It's no big deal. Let's continue. In the void. Yes, one of the 81 mazes has been broken through. These immortals are very efficient. Xiaofan did not seem nervous at all. He still looked as confident as ever. Apart from the mazes, there are also offensive and defensive formations in my demon city. However, I need to maintain the operation of the city and trap a large number of immortals. Indeed, I can't simply activate the offensive formations. Xiaofan smiled faintly. That's right, in the demon city, the amount of demonic energy required to activate the offensive formation was much more than the amount required to activate the maze. If these immortals break through the mazes one by one, the demon city will soon collapse. But, why would I give them such a chance? Ha ha ha. Immortals, the game has just begun. Xiaofan sneered. Demonic energy surged in his left demon emperor palm. Open all 80 mazes. Split up these immortals. Heaven Emperor Tsang and Master Spectral were about to order their subordinates to attack the next maze. However, at this moment, waves of demonic energy directly divided the demon city into 80 squares in the form of latitude and longitude lines. 80 mazes were operating at the same time. Nearly 200 immortals were directly divided into 80 parts. In the blink of an eye, Heaven Emperor Tsang found that there were only 5 immortals left beside him. He had lost contact with Master Spectral and the other immortals. Currently, the area where Heaven Emperor Tsang was located was a beautiful villa. Heaven Emperor Tsang and the 5 immortals were standing in a pavilion in the villa in a daze. Heaven Emperor Tsang's throat choked. His eyes widened and the other 5 immortals looked at each other. Brother Spectral. Heaven Emperor Tsang roared. Brother Spectral. Heaven Emperor Tsang's voice spread far and wide. It echoed in the empty mountain, but there was no response. An inexplicable panic surged into Heaven Emperor Tsang's heart. Brother Heaven Son, it seems like we've fallen into a maze again, and we've lost contact with the other immortals. A white-robed immortal said nervously. Damn it! Son of Heaven cursed. Destroy this labyrinth. It was just a trick of the demon race. Shatter the maze. On the other hand, Spectre and the 4 immortals around her were at the foot of a volcano. The surroundings were silent, and only the crackling sound of lava could be heard from the mouth of the volcano. It's been split up. Child of Spectre paced around, emitting the sound of withered branches and withered leaves being crushed. He pushed his psychic energy to the limit and stretched it out. After a short while, he said to the 4 immortals beside him. We were separated into dozens of parts and trapped in different mazes. The only way was to destroy these mazes. Our men. Only then can we reunite. Big Brother Spectral Child, what do you mean? The 4 immortals had already lost their composure. When there were so many of them, they didn't care about this demon city at all. But now, the immortals were separated and felt isolated and helpless. This made these immortals feel a chill down their spines. Their hearts were uneasy. In addition, the environment around them was filled with demonic wind and dense yin qi. It was even more terrifying. Destroy this labyrinth. Child of Spectre was slightly annoyed. There's no other way now. We can only destroy the labyrinth. However, every time we destroy a labyrinth, there will be 2 groups of people converging. As long as everyone works together, that great demon wants to nibble away at our plan one by one. It won't be that easy to succeed. But with just the few of us, it won't be that easy to destroy the labyrinth. That's right. The first labyrinth was destroyed with nearly 200 immortals working together. Only then was it easy. But now, it was extremely difficult for a few immortals to work together. Don't talk nonsense. Child of Spectre glared, scaring the immortals so much that they didn't dare to say anything. Soon, Child of Spectre and the 4 immortals unleashed powerful immortal technique attacks and bombarded the labyrinth. Child of Spectre even took out an immortal saber and kept slashing. Everything was under Xiaofan's control. Xiaofan looked down at the ground. In his eyes, the 80-grid labyrinth formation had already separated all the immortals. Although the immortals were attacking the maze in an attempt to break through it, it wouldn't be easy for them to do so in a short amount of time. Xiaofan didn't consider using his demonic power to repair the labyrinth that was being destroyed by the immortals. Instead, he gathered his demonic power and locked onto one of the labyrinth formations with his mind. In one of the 80 labyrinth formations, the scene of this labyrinth was that of a dark valley. There were only 2 immortals in this labyrinth. At this moment, these 2 immortals unleashed their immortal technique attacks in a frenzy, trying to forcefully break through the labyrinth. Unfortunately, they were too weak. Even after using up a lot of immortal power, they still couldn't break through the labyrinth. Du Muzi. One of the immortals stopped his attack and said with a frown. With just the 2 of us, I'm afraid it'll take more than a few hours to break through this labyrinth. The other short and fat immortal also stopped his attack and cursed in a low voice. How unlucky. I didn't expect that the 2 of us would be trapped together by that great demon. A few hours? Don't even think about breaking through this labyrinth in a few hours. Sigh. I hope Brother Heaven's Son and Child of Spectre can quickly break through the labyrinth and come to rescue us. The 2 of us probably won't be able to do anything. Outside Demon City. Jia Lanzi and the other immortals surrounded the small demon city with complicated expressions. On one hand, they were extremely disdainful of the actions of Heaven's Son and Child of Spectre. On the other hand, they were also conflicted when they saw a demon causing trouble in front of them. Everyone, don't be too anxious. Jia Lanzi smiled. Although Heaven's Son, Child of Spectre, and the others have fallen into this demon city, it'll be very difficult for that great demon to kill them. Yes, every immortal that descended here has a life-saving trump card given by the sect. Geniuses like Heaven's Son and Child of Spectre have even more powerful life-saving trump cards. It's almost impossible for them to die when nearly 200 immortals join forces. Black and White also smiled. However, I do hope that the great demon can teach Heaven's Son and the others a lesson, but now, it seems that the people of the northern region can be spared from being slaughtered. The kind-hearted Su Huizi's tightly furrowed brows finally relaxed. In Demon City. 80 labyrinths. Inside the dark valley. The 2 immortals were still grumbling under their breaths. However, at this moment, boom! Shockingly, a burst of demonic fire burst out of the ground without warning and enveloped the 2 immortals. This time, the 2 immortals were simply unable to defend against it. Ah, roar! Ah! The 2 immortals burst out with heart-wrenching screams. Immortal chi rose from their bodies and formed a protective shield. However, the power of the demonic flame was extremely terrifying. It directly burned the 2 immortals' immortal chi shield until it distorted and melted. Streaks of demonic flame entangled the 2 immortals like giant pythons. Densely packed cracks appeared on the immortal bodies of the 2 immortals. Humph. I've used most of my demonic power to activate this offensive formation. 2 mere immortals are dead for sure. Xiaofan sneered. Ah, this is bitter. Miserable. Brother Heaven's Son. Brother Spectre, come and save us. The 2 immortals' heart-wrenching screams echoed throughout the entire demon city. The other immortals could clearly hear the miserable screams and wails, as well as the terrifying sound of their immortal bodies melting and shattering. Outside Demon City. Oh no! There are immortals screaming. Jia Lanzi's expression changed drastically. To be continued. Chapter 610. Xiaofan finally decided to kill this group of heartless immortals. He did not trap these immortals in Demon City just to teach them a lesson. If Xiaofan did not master powerful demonic energy this time, then all the beings in the northern region would inevitably perish. Emperor Tsang and the other scum of the immortal world were already challenging Xiaofan's bottom line. Therefore, Xiaofan was determined to kill them. There was no other possibility. He wanted these nearly 200 immortals to be buried in Demon City. A mortal killing hundreds of immortals. If this matter was leaked, the immortal world would be shaken. However, Xiaofan had already found a scapegoat, the demon emperor who slaughtered immortals. He would use this fake identity to complete the massacre of these immortals. Nearly 200 immortals united. Indeed, even if they were trapped in Demon City, they would not be able to kill them. Instead, they would be able to destroy Demon City. However, according to Xiaofan's plan, these immortals were divided into 80 groups. Then, they would be able to destroy them one by one. Everything is under control. Xiaofan stood high above in the void of Demon City. He looked down on everything and was the master of everything. The two immortals were suffering from the demonic fire. Their vitality was constantly weakening. Their immortal bodies were melting and peeling off. They did not even have the chance to use their Dharma treasures. It should be noted that the offensive formations in Yao City had been strengthened along with Xiaofan's demonic energy. As long as there was demonic energy in the offensive formations, it wouldn't be a problem for them to kill some low-level immortals. In order to activate this demonic fire immortal incineration formation, I have consumed a lot of demonic energy. Now, the demonic energy in my left demon emperor's palm is also weakening. I must recover my demonic energy as soon as possible so that I can continue killing these immortals. Recover demonic energy? Xiaofan's eyes flashed. Let's see if I can devour and refine the bodies of these two immortals. Then, I can use the items they carry to effectively replenish the left demon emperor's palm. At this moment, the two immortals were burning. His entire body crackled as he was burned. His cries for help grew weaker and weaker. Ah, help! Demon clan, kill me! Brother Emperor Tsang! Brother Phantom Child! Help! I don't want to die in this mortal world. I'm also an outstanding talent of the younger generation in the celestial world. In order to obtain Celestial Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure, I went through a lot of hardships to descend to the mortal world. I thought that my future was bright. Alas! I'm going to die here with my immortal body reduced to dregs. So bitter. Help! The two immortals' heart-wrenching screams spread to every corner of the monster city. Every inch of the space was filled with the terrifying atmosphere of death and the fall of immortals. Roar! Demons! How dare you slaughter my immortals? Die! Die without a burial place. Heaven's Son was shocked and angry. He exerted all his strength, wanting to destroy the maze that trapped him. However, Son of Heaven only attacked this maze with a few other immortals. Even if they could break it, it would take a few hours. Ah! That demon really dared to attack. It doesn't just want to trap us. Quickly think of a way to kill our way out. Hurry up and destroy this maze. Otherwise, we might become the next target of this great demon. Apart from Heaven's Son of Heaven, the other immortals were also roaring. They fell into a state of panic. Not long after, the cries of pain from the two immortals finally came to an end. The entire monster city fell into silence. They're dead. Their souls are scattered. They're dead in this monster city. Ruthless, truly ruthless. This great demon is too vicious. Master Yuling closed his eyes and his divine sense drifted. He seemed to be sensing something. At this moment, the demon fire had dissipated. The two immortals were already dead. Their immortal bodies were burned to the point of emitting green smoke. They couldn't be more dead. However, it was not that easy to burn an immortal's body. Although these two immortals were burned to death, their bodies still maintained a sparkling luster. They were extremely extraordinary. However, their bodies were cold and completely devoid of life. Boom! A giant demonic aura hand grabbed the two immortal corpses through the air and directly lifted them into the sky. Let's see if these two immortal corpses can make up for my lost demonic power. Xiaofan directly fused the two immortal corpses into his left demon the arch palm. Rumbling refinement. Moreover, He opened the storage rings of the two immortals and took out all the treasures, immortal pills, and weapons. He threw them into the left demon the arch palm and directly refined them. Inside Xiaofan's left demon the arch palm, 40 demon dragons immediately wrapped around the immortal corpses and other items like hungry Taotai. They fiercely devoured and tore at them. In just a few breaths, the immortal corpses were torn into pieces, pieces of pure energy, and then, devoured. Refinement. At this moment, the aura of Xiaofan's withered left demon the arch palm was rising steadily. The lost demonic power was being replenished bit by bit. Ha 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 ha. Xiaofan let out a carefree laugh. This laughter also spread to every corner of Monster City. When the immortals heard it, they only felt extremely cold, evil, and terrifying, outside Monster City. They're dead. Jia Lanzi did his best to investigate what happened inside Monster City. At this moment, a trace of sadness flashed across his eyes. 2 immortals have fallen. So fast, they were directly tortured to death. It seems like this great demon wants to kill them one by one, including Heaven's Son and the other immortals trapped in Monster City. It's too vicious. It's the method of a great demon from the immortal world. What should we do now? Taotai and the other immortals hurriedly asked. Find a way to kill our way into Monster City. Jia Lanzi said solemnly. Inside Monster City. The death of 2 immortals caused the remaining immortals to use all their strength to attack the maze, wanting to break it as soon as possible. Most of the immortals had already taken out the life-saving magical treasures given to them by their sects. Some of the immortals took out their life-saving magical treasures, which were heavy weapons such as big axes and immortal hammers. They were extremely powerful. Some of the immortals took out their life-saving magical treasures, which were offensive immortal talismans. The immortal talismans burned and activated some immortal formations. Wind, rain, thunder, and lightning blasted out. Heaven's Son and Ghost Child. They had also taken out their own magical treasures. The magical treasure of Heaven's Son was a giant bronze man that was 10 feet tall. The bronze man's body was engraved with arrays. This bronze man seemed to be a giant spirit god that split the heavens and earth in ancient times. Every move it made was filled with terrifying energy that could shatter planes and create planets. As for Ghost Child's magical treasure, it was a black umbrella. As soon as the umbrella opened, billions of gods and demons erupted. They prayed together and the power of nirvanic extermination erupted. Some of the mazes had already begun to loosen. It was about to be broken. These immortals are starting to go all out. Ha 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 ha, immortals going all out, it's very interesting. Xiaofan watched everything that was happening in Monster City with great interest. The immortals were going all out, showing all sorts of ugly expressions. Each and every one of them had expressions on their faces. They were filled with anxiety, horror, and even collapse. These expressions that should have appeared among the weak mortals actually appeared on the group of arrogant immortals one by one. This also made Xiaofan exclaim in satisfaction. This feeling was above everything else. The pleasure of controlling the fate of immortals was hard to describe. Moreover, by devouring and refining the corpses of the 2 immortals, as well as the items they carried, he was able to summon the immortals. Xiaofan's demonic energy had finally recovered to its peak state. In fact, the space within the palm of the arch left arm demonic beast was distorting and emitting ripples. It was a sign that the 41st demonic dragon was about to be created. It seems like absorbing the celestial corpses can not only replenish my lost demonic energy, it can also evolve the left monarch beast's palm. Ha ha ha. Xiaofan burst into laughter again. Then, the left monarch beast's palm emitted a demonic glow and injected new demonic energy into every maze in the city. The maze that was already damaged and on the verge of exploding was now repaired. Pooh! Puff! Puff! Pft! Master Dark Spirit stood proudly and opened the black umbrella. It was as if there were billions of demonic gods and living beings, and a terrifying destructive energy shot out in all directions. The maze that trapped Master Nether Spirit and the other immortals was on the verge of collapse. Big Brother Spectral Child. We're about to break out of this maze. The immortals beside him shouted excitedly. Humph. Let's work harder and the maze will naturally be broken. Master Nether Spirit's eyes glittered as he said coldly. It wants to rely on a demon city to trap nearly 200 of us immortals. That's an incredible feat, and it requires an enormous amount of demonic energy to support it. This greater demon is truly foolish. It's fine if it wants to trap us, but it wants to kill us as well. If that's the case, its demonic energy will be even more difficult to sustain. Insignificant tricks. Break out of this maze. I believe the other mazes will be broken out one after another. Humph. Once we break out of all the mazes, we can kill that demon directly. All its demonic energy is used to maintain this demon city. By then, I'd like to see how it's going to fight against us. By then, we'll kill it like slaughtering a pig or a dog. Ha ha ha, after subduing a descending demon, it'll be a meritorious deed too. When we return to the celestial realm in the future, we'll be rewarded handsomely too. Ha 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 ha. Master Nether Spirit let out wild laughter. However, the laughter stopped abruptly as if it was cut off. The maze that had been destroyed to the point of devastation was actually filled with demonic light and vibrant colors. The space crystal wall of the maze was repaired. What? Master Nether Spirit was horrified and cried out involuntarily. At the same time, Emperor Firmament and the other immortals exerted all their skills and even used their life-saving treasures. Just as they were about to break out of the maze, they didn't expect that every maze would be repaired in an instant. This caused the immortals' excitement to suddenly fall to the bottom of the valley. It was as if a bucket of cold water had been poured over their heads. All the immortals stopped attacking and looked at the maze that was gradually repaired in a daze. They were as silent as cicadas in winter. Ha ha ha. It's useless, you know. Xiaofan's voice echoed in the demon city. Everything is futile. Struggling, screaming, roaring, it's all useless. Ha ha ha. Closing the door to beat the dogs. Do you know what closing the door to beat the dogs means? You're all dogs. Now, all of you, die. As soon as his voice fell, boom. 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 In a maze, a dense number of meteorites suddenly fell from above the heads of 3 immortals. Almost instantly, the 3 immortals' tendons and bones were crushed. Ah! The 3 immortals let out blood-curdling screams like pigs being slaughtered. This sound lingered in the entire demon city for a long time. Chapter 6:11. Under Xiaofan's control, demonic energy flowed endlessly into a maze and activated an offensive formation. Countless meteors fell from the sky, smashing into the 3 immortals and causing them to cry out in pain. These 3 immortals had used up a lot of their immortal chi in order to break through the maze. They even used their life-saving treasures. Therefore, when the meteorites fell from the sky, they did not have the time to put up any effective resistance and were hit. Ah! Poochie! 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 Screams and the sound of bones breaking rang out one after another. Demon City was silent. Heaven Emperor, Yu Ling, and all the immortals stood still like clay statues. Finally, the blood-curdling screams and cracking sounds that made one's teeth ache stopped. Another. 3 immortals have fallen. Heaven Emperor's face seemed to have aged a few decades in an instant. A gust of demonic wind blew past and he could not help but shiver. He looked at the 5 immortals beside him who looked like they were about to collapse. 5 immortals have fallen, yes. Yes. Big Brother Heaven Emperor. This is the 5th, why is this happening? Heaven Emperor's eyes were slightly hollow. This is just a mortal plane, and we're noble immortals. We should have been invincible in every endeavor, and we shouldn't have been bound by anything. But, why is it like this? Why are immortals falling one after another? Roar! Break the maze! Heaven Emperor screamed hysterically and took out several immortal talismans. With a touch of his immortal chi, these immortal talismans exploded with tens of thousands of lightning bolts and directly bombarded the maze's spatial crystal wall. These celestial thunder talismans were one of the most powerful life-saving trump cards in the hands of the Son of Heaven. Every celestial thunder talisman was a celestial. Once activated, a total of 10,000 lightning bolts would burst out at the same time. If one encountered a strong enemy, these 10,000 lightning bolts would strike the enemy one after another. One after another, the attacks landed on the enemy, enough to turn the enemy into dust. With the immortal thunder talismans, one could fight against a level 3 true immortal. These immortal thunder talismans were also the trump card that Heaven Emperor used to challenge Jia Lanzi. Now that the situation was critical, Heaven Emperor did not care anymore and directly used his trump card. Bang! 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 Thunder light exploded. Thunderclap quake. The entire labyrinth swayed wildly. The next moment, Hong, the labyrinth that trapped the Son of Heaven, was destroyed by his celestial thunder talismans. Electric arcs flashed. Amidst the smoke, Son of Heaven led the 5 immortals around him and met up with 4 immortals in another maze. As a result, the Son of Heaven was transferred from one maze to another. It was a labyrinth. It was a courtyard house. Ah! Brother Heaven's son. In the maze of the courtyard, the original 4 immortals persevered and attacked the maze with all their might. All of a sudden, the space trembled. Heaven's son and the 5 immortals were teleported over. Brother Heaven's son, you have broken through the labyrinth. They have reunited with us. The 4 immortals were overjoyed. In fact, they felt like they were drowning people who had just grasped at straws. Led by Emperor Tsang, the 10 immortals gathered together. Brother Heaven's son is indeed invincible. You can break through the labyrinth and reunite with us. The 4 immortals in the courtyard house maze began to flatter the Son of Heaven madly. Shut up! Son of Heaven said angrily. A bunch of trash. At this time, a pained expression appeared on Son of Heaven's face. Just now, I broke through the labyrinth. I used up a total of 3 celestial thunder talismans. Do you know the value of each celestial thunder talisman? Forget it. Now, with the strength of 10 of us, let's quickly break through this courtyard house maze. Humph. Every time we break through a maze, we can reunite with some of our people. Soon, under the leadership of Son of Heaven, the immortals once again used their ultimate immortal techniques and magical treasures to bombard the courtyard house maze. In the void, Xiaofan grabbed the corpses of the 3 immortals who were crushed to death by the meteorite demon array and threw them into the demon monarch left arm palm to be refined. The demonic energy that had been lost rose and was quickly replenished. Moreover, at this moment, Xiaofan had successfully created the 45th demonic dragon inside the demon monarch left arm palm. The demon monarch palm had evolved. The power of 45 demonic dragons. Not bad. If I continue to waste my time with these immortals, it will only make my demonic energy stronger and stronger. It will only benefit me. A faint smile flashed across the corner of Xiaohan's mouth. Of course, Xiaofan also saw Son of Heaven explode a maze and converge with the other immortals. However, Xiaofan was not anxious at all. Instead, his face revealed an expression of a cat toying with a mouse. Son of Heaven, you're really amazing. You actually destroyed a maze in the demon city by yourself. However, you relied on an extremely powerful magical treasure. Ha ha ha. I want to see how many of such magical treasures you have. When your magical treasures are exhausted, I'll kill you like a pig or a dog. In the maze where Phantom Child was. Golden Gourd. Suddenly, Phantom Child took out a golden gourd the size of a palm. Swoosh! A white light burst out from the golden gourd. This white light was as brilliant as a pillar and as sharp as a sword chi, cutting through iron like mud. Boom! The white light completely penetrated the space crystal wall of the maze. The scene changed. Phantom Child met up with the 7 immortals in the next maze. There were 4 immortals following Phantom Child. In addition to the 7 immortals that met up now, the number of immortals in Phantom Child's group had reached 12. It was considered an extraordinary force. Big Brother Phantom Child. The 7 immortals rushed to Phantom Child's side. Damn it! I used up one of my life-saving magical treasures. Phantom Child's face was tense. The golden gourd was empty, so he directly put it into his storage ring. This golden gourd hit a level 4 true immortal sword chi with the strongest attack power, a sword immortal. I originally used it to save my life. Forget it, let's leave this place first. If we can kill that big demon, everything is worth it. After a pause, Phantom Child said with a sinister face. Yes. In order to break this demon city, we used up a lot of energy and also used many trump cards that should only be used in the second layer of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure. However, that big demon's energy consumption is definitely not less than ours. Everyone, let's fight. Kill a path of blood, break through the maze, and meet up with the other immortals. Child of Spectre encouraged. Outside Demon City. Oh no! Another 3 immortals have fallen. Jia Lanzi's face became uglier and uglier. In this way, in Demon City, 5 immortals have fallen. Things had developed to this point, and it had become serious. Immortals fell one after another. This was an extremely rare thing in the immortal world. Every one of these immortal world geniuses was the pride of the immortal world. Every one of them fell was a huge loss. Everyone, let's try to break this demon city from the outside. We can't let the immortals continue to fall to the mortal world. Although he despised Emperor Tsang Tian and Phantom Child, Jia Lanzi still made a decision for the sake of the overall situation. They had to break the demon city from the outside and enter to save the immortals. Alright. Brother Jia Lanzi, let's do as you say, let's join forces. A group of immortals stepped forward. Boom! Jia Lanzi grabbed out. The immortal hand directly seized the demon city, but... Bang! Jia Lanzi was suddenly shaken away. Suddenly, a strange expression appeared on Jia Lanzi's face. Oh no! Breaking the immortal city from the outside is much more difficult than breaking it from the inside. Moreover, once the demon city is forcefully opened from the outside, Emperor Tsang and the others who are trapped inside are very likely to die. Inside Demon City. In a certain maze. There were only 2 immortals in this maze. These 2 immortals were weak and in a panic, they constantly bombarded the maze. Moreover, their wealth was not as good as Emperor Tsang Tian and Phantom Child. In a state of desperation, they used up all their life-saving trump cards. Crack, 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 the spatial crystal wall of the maze was shattering. Inside the crack, these 2 immortals opened up to the other immortals in the adjacent maze. Success, success, we succeeded. These 2 immortals, at this moment, seemed to have been squeezed dry, their auras extremely weak. Let's go, and meet up with the other immortals. However, at this moment. Bang! In the maze, the space where the 2 immortals were suddenly exploded. Demonic energy exploded, and their immortal bodies were directly sucked into the vortex and instantly twisted into pieces. Crack, 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 the maze crack that was blasted open by exhausting their life force was completely closed. These 2 immortals were only a step away from success. Boom, 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 Xiaofan absorbed the fragments of the 2 immortals' corpses through the air and threw them into the demon emperor left arm palm and frantically refined them. At this point, Xiaofan had consecutively hunted down 7 immortals. The quality of the Demon Emperor left arm palm was also constantly transforming and improving. Currently, inside Xiaofan's Demon Emperor left arm palm, there were already 50 demonic dragons. 50 demonic dragon power. It was comparable to a level 5 true immortal. Heaven's Son and Spectral Child, the 2 leaders of the younger generation of immortals, each destroyed a maze and met up with the other immortals. At this moment, they had regained some of their confidence and used their treasures like they were worthless. They had to continue to work hard and continue to destroy the maze. However, there were constantly immortals dying. Before they died, they let out heart-wrenching screams like pigs being slaughtered. This caused their mood to be on the verge of going berserk. Ah! No! I don't want to die. I'm an immortal. Why would I die in a place like this? I can't accept this. Xiaofan hunted down the 8th immortal, the 9th immortal, and the 15th immortal. As Xiaofan's demonic energy grew stronger and stronger, there would be an immortal dying almost every 15 minutes. Moreover, when Heaven's Son and Spectral Child were about to destroy the maze, buzz, powerful demonic energy was injected into the devastated and almost broken maze. It was very well repaired and could be called perfect. This caused all the efforts of Heaven's Son and Spectral Child and all the treasures that they had consumed in exchange for hope to be instantly destroyed. Roar! Why is this happening? Why? Finally, Heaven's Son and Spectral Child's emotions completely collapsed. They burst out the same howling and barking in different mazes. Why is this happening? I'm a Heaven's favored one, a genius in the immortal world. Why am I trapped in this demon city? Hope. I can't see any hope. At the same time. The 16th immortal, the 17th immortal, the 28th immortal died one after another. I said that I want you dead, so I won't let you live, Xiaofan's cold and domineering voice echoed in the demon city. Life and Death. Chapter 6:12. At this moment, Xiaofan's entire body was covered in demonic light. The demonic energy vortex on his left arm rippled like a galaxy. At this point, Xiaofan had killed 33 immortals one by one. All the immortal corpses, as well as the treasures and weapons carried by the immortals, became nourishment for the left arm of the demon god and were fully refined and absorbed. The left arm of the demon god seemed to have no limit to its evolution and continued to break through. After refining the immortal body fragments of Divine Sword Prince and Du Longzi, Xiaofan's demonic meridians merged and awakened the power of 40 demonic dragons. However, after refining more immortal corpses and Dharma treasure fragments, the speed of awakening the demonic dragons inside the left arm of the demon god slowed down. It seemed that the evolution speed of the demon god's palm slowed down as it progressed. It was just like cultivating true qi. The higher the realm, the slower the progress. Currently, there were 65 demonic dragons swimming inside Xiaofan's left arm of the demon god's palm. 65 demonic dragon power. This was equivalent to the immortal power of a level 6 perfected immortal in the celestial realm. It was terrifying. The powerful demonic energy allowed the demonic technique of one demon city to be further perfected. As a result, the number of mazes in the demon city had increased from 81 to 231. The number of offensive formations had increased to 108, and the number of defensive formations had also increased to 108. Some of the offensive and defensive formations and maze formations were several times stronger than before. In this way, it was as easy as flipping his palm for Xiaofan to control Son of Heaven and the others. Now, my left arm is filled with terrifying demonic energy that can easily kill immortals. Xiaofan casually grabbed with his left hand. The space peeled off, and the air solidified and compressed into an air bomb that could shatter a plane. It was as if he had the power to support the heavens. Immense confidence surged. All of this is thanks to those arrogant immortals. That's why I, Xiaofan, can improve to this level. On the other hand, Son of Heaven, Master Spectral, and the other immortals. At this point, they were completely in despair. They had consumed too much immortal energy. They had even used their life-saving Dharma treasures, but every time they were about to destroy the maze would suddenly repair itself perfectly, causing all their efforts to be in vain. This psychological gap and helplessness had destroyed their psychological defenses one by one. Why is this happening? Prince Tsang knelt on the ground and looked up at the sky. I've already exhausted everything, but I'm still unable to clear the maze. Why is it like this? Spiritual Child was also dispirited and dejected. Those eyes that were like black holes and abysses were also dim and devoid of light. His psychic energy was almost completely drained. His mind went blank. He raised his hands and stared blankly at the sky above the demon city. Impossible. There was no reason for that. But how could such a demon have the demonic power to continuously repair the maze of the demon city? This is completely unreasonable. In fact, some of the immortals had already lost control of their emotions and were barking madly. They wailed incessantly. Demon! Let us go! Let us go! We're willing to retreat, leave this secular plane and return to the immortal world. Demon, you're too powerful. We can't fight against you. Please let us go, don't kill us. Moreover, we're all prodigies from our respective sects in the immortal world. If you really kill us, the consequences will be very serious. The immortals were indeed on the verge of collapse. Under the situation of the great disparity between the powerful forces, even the immortals had completely collapsed. They wailed and begged for mercy. There were even some immortals with no backbone who begged humbly and extremely contemptuously. However, Xiaofan didn't show any mercy in the face of all this. When you made the decision to slaughter all the beings in the northern region, I didn't see you showing any mercy. Now, I'm the knife and you're the meat on the chopping block. Why should I let you go? Die. All of you must die. This time, I, Xiaofan, will not hold back when I kill the immortals. Boom, boom, boom. Within the demon city, the offensive formations were activated one after another. World-burning demonic fire. The extraterrestrial demon stone formation. The 10,000 demon immortal devouring formation. Every time an offensive formation was activated, it would take away the lives of several immortals. Puchi. 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 The sound of immortal bodies exploding rose and fell in the demon city. After his demon power skyrocketed, Xiaofan finally stopped dawdling and began a massacre. Sweeping away everything. Chopping melons and vegetables. Killing immortals like stepping on ants. The howls of the immortals as they were on the verge of despair filled every inch of the demon city. No! Stop! Stop the massacre! Demon race! Calm down! Stop the massacre! Emperor Tsang's entire body trembled like a sieve. Spectral Child's eyes were also spitting blood. His mental power also sensed that immortals were falling one after another. Originally, there were close to 200 immortals, but now, there were only a few dozen left. And the number was still decreasing sharply. Outside the demon city. It's crazy. That great demon has gone mad. Jia Lanzi also let out a heart-wrenching howl. It's going on a killing spree. Hundreds of immortals have died. They've completely fallen. Not even their bones are left. Big brother Jia Lanzi, what should we do? What should we do now? Tao Tai and the other immortals were also panicking. There's no other way. We have no way to attack this demon city from the outside. Now. Wait, I'll immediately send a message to Brother Xiaohan. Let Brother Xiaohan stop all of this. This is too terrifying. This one-sided massacre is tantamount to a disaster for us immortals. Jia Lanzi immediately held his breath and began to use his thoughts to send a message to Xiaohan. However, His immortal sense was like a clay ox entering the sea, there was no response. He was completely unable to sense Xiaofan's aura again. Inside the demon city, all the miserable howls and cries before death had completely stopped. Dead silence. Annihilated. Annihilated. In the entire demon city, there were only two immortals left, Spectral Child and Emperor Tsang. The immortals who followed them to the death were all annihilated. The space was distorted. Finally, the two immortals, Emperor Tsang and Spectral Child, gathered together. Brother. Brother Spectral Child. Emperor Tsang looked at Spectral Child in extreme horror and shivered. All dead. All dead. Only we're left. Spectral Child's spirited eyes became dull and rigid. He stared blankly at Heaven's Son. Heaven's Son. This time, I'm dead because of you. I've already obtained the quota to enter the second level of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure in another mundane plane. I can be safe. You. Motherf asterisk Ker. How dare you let me come to this plane? F asterisk CK. Motherf asterisk Ker. Spectral Child cursed. At this moment, a figure was approaching from afar. A thin, harmless young man with indifferent eyes. It was Xiaofan. At this moment, Xiaofan no longer disguised himself. He had returned to his original appearance and soul temperament. Xiaofan. This is, you. Emperor Tsang looked at Xiaofan in horror. Spectral Child scanned with his immortal sense and said in horror. It really is you. Xiaofan, why did you appear in this demon city? You. Immortals, you've arrived at this moment. I can tell you a little secret. Xiaofan smiled strangely. In reality, there is no demon race emperor. Everything was done by me, Xiaofan. Ha 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 ha. Are you surprised? Cluck. Both Son of Heaven and Sun Spectre choked. All immortals. They were all killed by me, Xiaofan. Xiaofan smiled innocently. How is it? You didn't expect this, did you? Forget it. Everything will be fine once I get rid of the two of you. This plane will be peaceful again, and I will be able to leave. Together with Brother Jialan, distribute the quota properly. Xiaofan, you. Son of Heaven's eyes suddenly widened, and he was about to explode. However, from Xiaofan's body, he felt an undefeatable aura, a terrifying aura that could easily crush him to death. This. Xiaofan, this is really unexpected. You actually have such a demon race divine ability. This. Forget it, forget it. Son of Heaven's eyes turned a few times. Xiaofan, our previous unhappiness was all a misunderstanding. How about this, let's write it off, how about it? Ha ha ha. Write it off? Xiaofan's gaze suddenly turned cold. From the beginning, you bullied the weak and shouted to kill me. Now that you can't beat me and can't kill me, you want to write it off. Ha ha ha. Dog. A dog. Is this the so-called immortal? In my opinion, he is no different from a beast. Xiaofan, you, Son of Heaven, was exasperated. Xiaofan, Brother Xiao. I have no enmity with you. I shouldn't have come to this plane in the first place. We should mind our own business. I just listened to Heaven's Son and came to be your enemy. I was really muddle-headed. Brother Xiao, how about this? Let me out, and I'll leave this plane immediately. How about that? Spectral Child said shamelessly. Ha ha ha. All of you, go to hell. Xiaofan laughed wildly, and a violent murderous aura spread out. Kill. Son of Heaven. Join hands and fight with your life on the line. He is going to make his move. We must fight with our lives on the line. Sun Spectre sensed the subtle signs that Xiaofan was about to make his move. Suddenly, Sun Spectre's immortal body started to burn, and his cultivation realm was forcibly raised by one level, almost possessing the attack power of a level 3 true immortal. His right hand turned into an immortal sword and directly slashed towards Xiaofan. Son of Heaven also displayed his ultimate move, and at the cost of a drop in rank, he brazenly rushed towards Xiaofan. His eyes were spewing blood as he roared. "Xiaofan, I will fight with you. It's useless." Suddenly, Xiaofan's left arm directly blasted out. Demonic light surged and covered the sky. From all directions, there were demonic songs that soared to the sky. Xiaofan's body was wrapped in a violent demonic aura, standing upright in the same place, like an indestructible demon emperor, demon god. Bang! Xiaofan sent out a palm strike, directly smashing Son of Heaven and Sun Spectre into powder. Not even ashes were left. At this point, Son of Heaven and Sun Spectre, as well as the immortals under them, were all killed by Xiaofan, not a single one was left. Chapter 613. In the end, Xiaofan killed close to 200 immortals in a demon city by wearing them down to the last man. Among them, Heaven Son and Ghost Spirit, who were hailed as geniuses in the immortal world, died in Xiaofan's hands. Even their immortal bodies were shattered into pieces. They were devoured by the left-arm demon the Archpalm. Now, inside Xiaofan's left-arm demon the Archpalm, there were 65 demon dragons, representing the power of 65 demon dragons. This kind of power could crush this plane with a single finger. Xiaofan could instantly kill level 2 true immortals like Heaven Son and Ghost Spirit, and even Jialanzi. It had grown. However, the left-arm demon the Archpalm had entered a slow period after growing to such a stage. It seemed that devouring and refining the immortal bodies of level 2 true immortals and ordinary magic treasures could not make the left-arm demon the Archpalm advance by leaps and bounds. Even after refining the immortal bodies of Heaven Son and Ghost Spirit, it did not bring about a qualitative change to the left-arm demon the Archpalm. But with the demon power and thousands of forbidden demon techniques, it was more than enough for Xiaofan to deal with the immortals that descended. However, the inside of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure is shielded from demon power, so I can't use my powerful demon power after I enter. If I can use demon power in the treasure vault, then I can crush all the immortals that descended. Xiaofan sorted out his thoughts and prepared to leave Demon City. Let's go. Xiaofan smiled casually and then used his mental energy to probe. He found out. Jialanzi and the other immortals. Outside Demon City, there were heart-wrenching screams and cries of grief. Obviously, Jialanzi and the others also knew that a large number of immortals had died in Demon City. I need to use a little trick to fool brother Jialanzi and the others. But that's easy. Xiaofan's lips curled into a faint smile. Outside Demon City. Even Heaven Son and Ghost Spirit have fallen. Jialanzi let out a horrified and miserable cry. Inside Demon City. All the immortals are dead. Not a single one is left. The entire Demon City was now lifeless and filled with despair. It was too terrifying. Heaven Emperor and Spectral Child were both outstanding figures of the younger generation in the immortal world. Back when they descended to the lower realm, the few immortal emperors were extremely optimistic about Spectral Child, Heaven Emperor, and the others. They believed that they would emerge as the winners in the expedition a few years later. The possibility of him becoming an immortal emperor in the future was extremely high. But now, they had died here without knowing why. Not even their corpses were left. Once the higher-ups find out, they will be furious. The other immortals were also shocked, and they all felt suffocated. However, the young fish licked his lips and said, "Brother Jialanzi, don't be too anxious. We are not the ones who died. Despicable fellows like Son of Heaven and Son of Spectre, even if they don't die today, they will become our direct competitors in a few years' time. It is very likely that they will kill each other. To put it bluntly, Son of Heaven and the others have been killed by the demon clan. For us, it is equivalent to losing a few of our most powerful competitors, that's right. The black and white man nodded repeatedly. If Heaven's Son and the others don't die this time, the mortals of this plane will be plunged into misery and suffering. They deserve to die. The group of immortals immediately echoed. Jia Lanzi also nodded slightly. However, at this moment, one of the immortals cried out involuntarily. That great demon hunted down Son of Heaven and the others, will it also hunt us now? As soon as these words came out, hundreds of immortals scattered, their eyes bulging as they stared blankly at Demon City. Jia Lanzi also took half a step back with lingering fear. In the face of such a great demon, Jia Lanzi also knew that he was no match for it. Boom! Demon City shook. Thousands of demonic lights evaporated, it was a spectacular sight. In the next moment, from the colorful demonic lights, a young man with a jade-like face slowly walked out. This young man was naturally Xiaofan in disguise. Moreover, Xiaofan also used the reincarnation technique to disguise his soul temperament as a domineering, cold, and domineering temperament of the demon clan. In the palm of the demon emperor's left arm, a powerful demonic force was released. Dozens of demon dragons wandered around Xiaofan's body, releasing an evil aura that could devour the universe. It was unknown whether it was intentional or a coincidence, but Xiaofan was currently imitating the aura of the demon clan. Because he had seen the invincible demon god before, the demeanor that his entire body displayed was actually a little similar to the demon god. Perhaps because the demon god resided in Xiaofan's heart, Xiaofan's imitation of the demon god's temperament was actually a little similar. What kind of person was the demon god? It was the only one in the world. It killed immortal emperors like picking up grass. Xiaofan's ability to imitate a trace of the demon god's temperament was enough to completely intimidate Jia Lanzi and the others. Boom! Jia Lanzi and the hundreds of immortals immediately retreated. All of their faces were ashen. It was a terrifying feeling that their lives and souls were firmly grasped by this great demon in front of them. So much so that these immortals were suppressed to the point that they could not speak. Only Jia Lanzi barely managed to take a breath. This. Senior from the demon world, you descended into the mortal world and casually killed the geniuses of the immortal world. If this is the case, I'm afraid that when we return to the immortal world, it will not be easy to clean up. Ha 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 ha. Xiaofan laughed wildly. Not easy to clean up? Then let's fight. This seat has killed enough today, so there will be no more killing. Moreover, this seat should also return to the demon world. You guys are very lucky. Very lucky. Hearing this, many immortals could not help but heave a sigh of relief in their hearts. This. Jia Lanzi wanted to say something, but Xiaofan pretended to be anxious and said sternly. You, shut up for this seat. One more word and this seat will crush you with one palm. Damn it. Under the shock of the violent demonic qi, Jia Lanzi had no ability to resist at all. Although he was indignant, he could only endure it. Xiaofan snorted, his heart was incomparably refreshed, and he prepared to slip away. This seat will return to the demon world. Wait a moment. Jia Lanzi still could not endure it. He called out. My mortal brother Xiaofan, now, where is he now? Xiaofan. Oh, this young man is not bad, he is a close friend that this seat randomly made in this plane. Just now, when this seat was killing those immortals, I had already used a demonic technique to protect and shield Xiaofan. After this seat leaves this plane, Xiaofan will naturally appear, Xiaofan said boldly. I heard that you immortals are very rude to Xiaofan. Be careful for this seat. If anything happens to Xiaofan, this seat doesn't mind torturing you to death. This sentence was very evil, and the immortals who heard it felt their scalps go numb. In the next moment, whoosh, Xiaofan transformed into a demonic light and fled far away. without leaving a trace. On a certain mountain in the western region. With a flash of demonic light, Xiaofan descended. Immediately. Xiaofan immediately used the reincarnation technique and changed his appearance and temperament back to his original appearance. Ha ha ha. Demon Emperor Tu Xian, I, Xiaofan, will not see you off. You can return to the demon world. Ha ha ha, I, Xiaofan, am back. Xiaofan laughed aloud in great delight. He used the spirit turtle's true qi to wrap around his left demon emperor's hand. Moreover, as his demon qi increased, his control over the demon qi became more and more flexible. With just a slight restraint, the demon qi would be firmly sealed away in his left arm, preventing it from leaking out. As a result, regular immortals would not be able to see through it. After doing all this, Xiaofan controlled his true qi and flew from the western region to the northern region. Northern region. Forget it. That great demon is really too strong. It is not something we can fight against. We can't stop it. Jia Lanzi shook his head helplessly. Let's focus on the second layer of the Immortal Emperor's treasure in a few years. Comparatively, this is the most important thing. That's right, the life and death of Heaven's Son and the others have nothing to do with us. The black and white children also came over and smiled. Brother Xiao should still be in the northern region. We will temporarily stay in the northern region and wait for Brother Xiao to appear. Jia Lanzi made a decision. Immediately, a group of immortals settled in the northern region. One day later, Xiaofan quietly returned from the western region to the northern region. As soon as he returned to the northern region, Xiaofan used his powerful mental strength to find Jia Lanzi and took the initiative to go to him. In a private room of a restaurant, Xiaofan saw Jia Lanzi, Tao Tai, Wu ***, Xiao Mingchu, Dongfang Qin, and Fang Ling, Brother Jia Lanzi. Brother Tao Tai. Sect Master. Senior Brothers. I am really lucky to be able to meet you again. Sigh, I almost died in the hands of Heaven's Son and the others. Xiaofan sighed repeatedly. By the way, I just used my mental strength to sense. It seems that Heaven's Son and the other immortals have disappeared from the northern region. Did they all go back to the immortal world? They're dead. Jia Lanzi smiled bitterly. Brother Xiao, all the immortals who went against you are dead. Brother Xiao, that demon friend of yours is too vicious. He directly killed them all, hiss. Dead? Really killed them all? I didn't expect it. I never expected this. Xiaofan's face was filled with shock. His performance was also very vivid. Brother Xiao, were you sealed by that great demon somewhere these few days? Jia Lanzi asked doubtfully. Yes, I seem to have been sent into a spatial crevice. I only managed to escape today. Where is that great demon friend of mine? Xiaofan looked confused. Well, it has already returned to the demon world. Jia Lanzi nodded slightly. Never mind. Brother Xiao, let me give you a piece of advice. In the future, Brother Xiao should not get too close to these fiend race cultivators. Yes, I know. Xiaofan said obediently. I guess I will never be able to meet this great demon friend again. But this is nothing. I am a human. In this life, I will not associate with the demons. Brother Jia Lanzi, please rest assured. Good, Brother Xiao. I believe in your character. Jia Lanzi said with satisfaction. Then, he also laughed. Brother Xiao, can we distribute the places now? Yes. Distribute the places. Xiaofan also laughed. Since Heaven's Son is dead, then I can fully distribute the places to enter the second level of the Ju Dao Immortal Emperor's treasure. To be continued. P.S. Recommend 2 peerless books. One is the urban type, Urban Alien, and the other is also an urban work, The Strongest Demon Master. Chapter 6:14. Allocation of Places. Yes, by now, all the unscrupulous immortals who had descended upon Xiaohan's plane, led by Heaven's Son, had been executed. Now, Xiaohan and Jia Lanzi could calmly allocate the places to enter the second layer of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure trove. Heh, brother Jia Lanzi, now, there shouldn't be any selfish immortals who would jump out and oppose our allocation, right? Xiaohan said with a faint smile. Jia Lanzi paused and then said dumbly. The collective death of Heaven's Son and the other immortals has already caused a huge uproar in the circle of immortals like us. Moreover, when that great demon left, he threatened us not to make things difficult for you. Ha ha ha, brother Xiao, forget it, you have full authority now. Fortunately, I, Tao Mei, had the foresight to get a place from brother Xiaohan in advance. He he. Tao Mei laughed foolishly at the side. Ha 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 ha. Wu Yu, Xiao Mingchu, and the other immortals also laughed. The death of Heaven's Son and the other immortals was tantamount to an announcement that this plane had broken free from the precarious state of undercurrents and obtained peace and tranquility. This made Wu Yu and the other human race elites let out a long sigh of relief. Well, back to business, brother Xiao. Now, almost all the immortals who descended upon this plane have arrived in the northern region. I will go and gather them now, Jia Lanzi said seriously. This matter will be left to brother Jia Lanzi, Xiaohan said with a relaxed smile. If I remember correctly, then in my hands, there are still 185 places to enter the second layer of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure trove, waiting for them. All right, Jia Lanzi nodded repeatedly. Brother Xiao, when you gather the immortals of the northern region, I will also screen and evaluate them and persuade those who have committed crimes or misbehaved to return to the immortal realm. That's good, Xiaohan also agreed. Immediately, Jia Lanzi, Tao Mei, and the other immortals left first. In the private room of the restaurant, only Wu Yu, Xiao Mingchu, and the others were left. Sect Master, Senior Brothers. We will not interfere with the matter of the quota allocation. We will leave it to brother Jialan to handle. Xiaohan stretched his waist as a tired expression flashed across his face. After which, he smiled and sat down. He drank a mouthful of tea and let out a long sigh. After dealing with the troublesome Son of Heaven, I am now much more relaxed and happy. Xiaohan, suddenly, Wu Lulu looked meaningfully at Xiaohan. I've always felt that something was off. The great demons of the demon realm descended upon our plane and befriended you. Moreover, at the critical moment, when Son of Heaven and the other unscrupulous immortals were about to slaughter all living beings in the northern region. Yet, it suddenly attacked and killed all the immortals. Xiaohan. The dark-skinned monstrosity stared at Xiaohan. Then, it opened its mouth slightly and laughed in a barely audible voice. This matter has a lot to do with you. I'm afraid that the greater demon from the upper realm has other secrets. But, ha 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 ha, you've done well in this matter, Xiaohan. The immortal had suffered a great loss. How delightful. This matter. Let's not talk about it anymore. No matter what means we use, as long as we can protect our homeland and prevent our compatriots from being invaded, that's good enough. Xiao Mingchu also laughed. He, Xiaohan laughed. Sect Master and Senior Brothers really understand me. This matter was indeed planned by me, ha 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 ha. The Senior Brothers and Wu Lulu let out a tacit laughter. Above the clouds, hundreds of immortals gathered. With Jialan Zi as their leader. Initially, the number of immortals who descended from this plane numbered around 300. Then, they followed Emperor Tsangtian and fell into the monster city. About a dozen immortals died. Moreover, there were close to 100 immortals present who had reached a consensus with Son of Heaven to search for Xiaohan's whereabouts all over the world in order to help Son of Heaven capture Xiaohan. But now, Son of Heaven was dead. Although these immortals did not die together in Demon City, their faces were covered in dust and their heads drooped. They dared not say anything and looked extremely dispirited. Forget it. You people have similar characters to Son of Heaven. You once conspired with him, and among you, there are also some who have humiliated and harmed a few mortals. Jialanzi looked at the immortals who had once followed Son of Heaven with a stern look of justice. Son of Heaven has fallen. You die-hard loyalists should return to the immortal world. No matter what, Brother Xiao will not give you a place, sigh. These immortals who had followed Son of Heaven could not help but show a dejected expression. However, they did not dare to refute. We really followed the wrong person. Back then, if we didn't ally with Son of Heaven and didn't make things difficult for Xiaofan, then, forget it, one wrong move and we'll lose everything. The group of immortals took out immortal talismans from their pockets. Burning the immortal talismans, powerful spatial energy flowed on their bodies. Boom! 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 Rays of immortal light soared into the sky, forming spacetime wormholes in the void. Whoosh! 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 These immortals turned into rays of light and entered the spacetime wormholes, returning to the immortal world. Some immortals gritted their teeth while taking out immortal talismans, growling with extreme unwillingness. Jialanzi! You sanctimonious hypocrite! You schemed and plotted to use Xiaofan to suppress Brother Son of Heaven. Now that Brother Son of Heaven is dead, we immortals are on different sides from you, so you ruthlessly suppressed us and forced us to return to the immortal world. Damn it! Brother Son of Heaven is dead, and we are like dragons without a leader. Forget it, we won't argue with you. When we return to the immortal world, we will definitely report you. Jialanzi, just you wait and see. In the face of these indignant threats and curses, Jialanzi only smiled and did not say much. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, not long after, these nearly 100 immortals all took out immortal talismans and summoned spacetime wormholes that connected to the immortal world. One by one, they were teleported back to the immortal world. The entire sky of the northern region was overflowing with colorful lights and immortal chi. It was a spectacular sight. Xiaofan, Wu Li, and the others stood by the window. They looked at the blue sky. Some immortals have left. Xiaofan smiled. The storm has finally subsided completely. Now, we just have to wait for the opening of the second level of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure in a few years. Wu Li and the others were also relieved. There are still more than 100 immortals left. Jialanzi's gaze swept across the remaining immortals and smiled. Everyone, when we were in the immortal world, we understood each other. I, Jialanzi, know that all of you are pure immortals and have never bullied the weak. Moreover, this time, during the chaos of Son of Heaven, none of you participated in the evil. Jialanzi smiled and said, then, in Brother Zhao's hands, there are still 185 places left, enough to distribute to all of you. Everyone, let us explore together in a few years. Thank you, Brother Jialan. Thank you, Brother Xiaohan. The immortals who obtained the places said happily. Not long after, Jialanzi returned to the private room of the restaurant where Xiaohan was and said with a smile. Brother Xiao, the arrangements have already been made. Of the 185 slots, 157 have been allocated. There are still dozens of slots remaining. There are still dozens of places left. You can make your own arrangements, Brother Xiao. Alright, for the remaining spots, I'll pick some brave ones from the mortal heroes of this dimension who are willing to take the risk. Xiaohan nodded as well. Brother Xiao, you should go out now. Meet the immortals. In a few years' time, we might even become companions and fight together in the second level of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure. Jialanzi smiled. Looking for Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure? Looking for Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure? Xiaohan smiled in his heart. You probably don't know, but after obtaining the purple immortal key, I, Xiaohan, have become the most beneficial successor to Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's legacy. I can be taken care of everywhere. Alright, Brother Jialan, let's go out. Xiaofan and Jialanzi walked out together. In the void, nearly 200 immortals surrounded Xiaofan and Jialanzi like stars surrounding the moon. Facing Xiaofan, although he was immortal, these immortals had a certain degree of respect. After all, this mortal in front of them had caused Emperor Chang to suffer. Along the way, Emperor Chang had gathered a large number of people, but in the end, he still could not find Xiaofan. To be able to deal with a group of immortals to such an extent, he was definitely a godlike existence among the mortals. Everyone. Xiaofan's gaze swept across the crowd of immortals. In terms of temperament, he was absolutely neither servile nor overbearing. As soon as Xiaofan spoke, for some reason, all the immortals present fell silent. They all looked at Xiaofan and listened attentively. Jialanzi clicked his tongue in wonder. Brother Xiao has already achieved a special temperament. Even us immortals are absolutely on equal footing with Brother Xiao now. Everyone, this dispute has come to an end. Emperor Chang's death was completely his own fault. Now, let us put an end to this matter. Next, we will face the adventure of the second level of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure in a few years' time. This matter is no trivial matter. I will not elaborate on the preciousness of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure. I believe everyone is aware of it. This time, the number of immortals who have descended into the mundane plane is far greater than all of you here. The adventure in a few years' time will definitely be extremely fierce. Since all of you are fortunate enough to descend into my plane, it is also a kind of fate. I hope that in the adventure in a few years' time, Xiaofan, and all of you can advance and retreat together and defeat competitors from other planes. Listening to Xiaofan's words, the immortals nodded secretly. Alright, now, all of you can rest in our plane and wait together for the opening of the second level of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure in a few years' time. Xiaofan said in a clear voice. After communicating with the immortals, Xiaofan held Wu Yu, Xiao Mingchu, and the others and returned to their home, the Pure Cloud sect. Jialanzi also followed Xiaofan back to the Pure Cloud sect. Whoosh, in the void, Xiaofan and the others stood side by side on an immortal cloud, flying towards the Pure Cloud mountain range in the southern region. The opening of the second level of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure is imminent. I can already feel the immortal key in my body throbbing. Xiaofan's eyes brightened. This is a huge challenge for me, Xiaofan. Chapter 6:15. Xiaofan and the others finally returned to the mountain range of clouds and rain. After learning that Xiaofan won the bet with the evil immortal, son of heaven, the entire mountain range of clouds and rain, and even those in the chivalrous region, celebrated. For Xiaofan to be able to defeat an immortal, his status in the plane of existence was like the sun at high noon, and he became an immortal legend. One could imagine that for a very long time in the future, Xiaofan's legend would become the topic of discussion in the streets and alleys of this plane, the nobles, the merchants, and the common folk. Xiaofan's legend was immortal. Mountain range of clouds and rain. White clouds. Flowing water. It was as beautiful as a fairyland. After returning to the mountain range of clouds and rain, Xiaofan stayed with his family every day. He shared the joys of intimacy with his wife and watched his son grow up day by day. Xiaofan enjoyed it too. But secretly, Xiaofan was also refining the immortal corpse fragments in the left arm demon emperor's palm. In the end, after refining all the immortal corpses, the palm of the martial monarch left arm beast had produced a total of 70 demonic dragons, which represented the terrifying power of 70 demonic dragons. Thousands of forbidden arts glowed brilliantly. Now, in terms of demonic power, Xiaofan was on par with level 7 true immortals in the immortal world. Immortals had immortal techniques, and Xiaofan was not weak either. He had mastered all kinds of magical demonic techniques. If there was one aspect in which Xiaofan was weaker than immortals, it was that Xiaofan had no Dharma treasures, while immortals had Dharma treasures to increase their combat power. On the other hand, Xiaofan's dual attribute immortal body was becoming more and more solid. The two attributes were integrated into one. The pure power of 40 immortal dragons in both offense and defense. As for the realm of true Qi, Xiaofan could break through and enter the 8th level of true Qi, the talisman formation realm. However, Xiaofan deliberately suppressed it. He had to wait until he finished exploring the 2nd level of the Zhu Dao Immortal Emperor's treasure. Only after accumulating a significant amount of true essence would he be able to open the 71st acupoint in one go, hoping to amaze the world with a single brilliant feat. As Xiaohan's most loyal servant, Yan Lang also obtained some immortal pills from Jia Lanzi and refined them into supreme spirit medicines. He helped Xiaohan's son cleanse his marrow. When Xiaoan was 6 years old, he had already completed the organs refinement of the physical body realm. He was extremely talented. Jia Lanzi led a leisurely life in Cloud Rain sect, fishing and playing chess every day. Enjoy the flowers and go sightseeing. Time slipped by. In the blink of an eye, several years had passed. Now, there was only half a year left before the 2nd level of Zhu Dao Immortal Emperor's treasure opened. The immortals scattered across this plain. They also began to converge on the Cloud Rain mountain range. Xiaohan's expression became more and more nervous as the days passed. There was no other way. In this expedition, Xiaohan would not be competing with mortals, but with immortals. Moreover, Xiaohan would definitely not be able to use his demon power. In the ruins of an immortal emperor, any demonic aura fluctuations would be sealed and shielded. As a result, Xiaohan could only rely on the power of his immortal body to fight against the countless immortals. Moreover, Xiaohan deeply understood that in an adventure, he could only rely on his own strength and will to deal with any difficulties and opponents. He absolutely could not bet his chips on immortals like Jia Lanzi and the others he was on good terms with. When it comes to life and death, the only one you can rely on is yourself, not anyone else. Time passed day by day and would not stop for anyone. There was only 1 month left until the opening of the 2nd level of the Zhu Dao Immortal Emperor's treasure. On this day, in Xiaohan's body, a magnificent immortal's will suddenly rippled. This immortal's will was domineering and unbridled. Xiaohan was extremely familiar with it. This was Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's will. When Xiaohan refined the purple immortal key, he suddenly discovered that a trace of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's divine soul was also attached to the purple immortal key. He also told Xiaohan that because Xiaohan won first place in the genius competition and obtained the purple immortal key, he was recognized by Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's divine soul. Now, Xiaohan was already the best candidate to inherit Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's legacy. Of course, in the end, it still depended on whether Xiaohan could perform amazingly again. If he was overshadowed by other competitors, or even killed by them, then Xiaohan would not have the fortune to become Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's successor. Instead, he would be working hard for others. However, Xiaohan refined a trace of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's divine soul into his body, and he also received a promise from Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao that during the expedition, this trace of divine soul would constantly remind Xiaohan. Now, Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's divine soul that was hibernating in Xiaohan's body had awakened once again, and he transmitted his voice to Xiaohan. Mortal young man, hello. This divine soul of mine has been hibernating for nearly 10 years, and now, it has finally awakened again. There's still 1 more month before the 2nd level of my treasure opens. Ha ha ha. I believe a large number of immortals have gathered in your plane, right? My treasure is no small matter, even immortals would covet it. But, young man, you're still alive. Not only are you alive, but you're also living very well, full of vitality, calm and composed. Ha ha ha, it seems that those immortals who descended couldn't do anything to you. Not bad, you're indeed the winner of the purple immortal key, the best candidate to inherit my legacy. Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's divine soul seemed to be completely unaware of what happened to Xiaohan in the past few years. It also didn't know that Heaven's Son and the other immortals were killed, and it also didn't know that the demonic power in Xiaofan's left arm had grown to an unimaginable level. This made Xiaofan heave a long sigh of relief, and he settled down to become the successor to Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's legacy. Young man, listen up now. A month later, a teleportation array will shoot out from inside your body, and you'll be transported directly to the entrance of the second level of my treasure. In your body, there's a purple immortal key and a blue immortal key. With the two immortal keys stacked together, there's a total of 270 spots to enter the second level of my treasure. Young man, what you need to do now is to gather all the people who are about to be transported to the second level of my treasure. Xiaofan subconsciously responded. That's it for now. After the teleportation, I'll use this divine will to communicate with you. Young man. Be careful, when the time comes. Tens of thousands of immortals will gather, an unprecedented grand occasion. Ha ha ha. Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's voice gradually faded away. Alright, gather the teleportation personnel. Xiaofan immediately found Jialanzi. Brother Jialanzi, you can open the mountain gate of my cloud rain sect now and let those immortals in. A month later. Teleport on time. Xiaofan said with a smile. Yes, Brother Xiao, I'll be in charge of informing the immortals. Jialanzi took a deep breath, and his expression became slightly nervous. As the great adventure approached, even a talented immortal like Jialanzi could not help but feel anxious. After Jialanzi left, Xiaofan hurriedly used the evil hero token. He informed the mortals who were about to enter the second level of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure. In addition, Xiaofan's 5 slaves from another plane, as well as some evil heroes who were on good terms with Xiaofan, also received Xiaofan's message and rushed to the Cloud Rain mountain range. Another half a month passed. The second level of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure would be opened. There was only half a month left. Cloud Rain mountain range. Tao Mei Zi, Hei Hei Zi, Su Huai Zi, Yu Yang Zi, more than 100 immortals all entered the Cloud Rain mountain range. They were settled down. These immortals were also well behaved. They were also very polite to the disciples of the Cloud Rain sect, but they were also extremely anxious and nervous. Xiaofan's main peak. At this moment, hundreds of mortals gathered at Xiaofan's main peak. Among them were Yan Lang, Wu Yunyu, Xiao Mingchu, Dongfang Qin, Fang Ling, Luo Tianyu, many elders of the evil hero tower, as well as some ancient giants. Xiaofan's 5 slaves, as well as some evil heroes from other planes, all came from afar. All the mortals were at the 10th level of true Qi and had opened the heavenly eye. They were at the level of a tower master and had the standard half-immortal body. Now, these mortals were all crowding around Xiaofan. They stared at Xiaofan. Everyone is here. Xiaofan nodded slightly and said with a solemn expression. Previously, I promised everyone a place to enter the second level of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure. Now, there is only half a month before the second level of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure opens. Finally, I have to warn everyone, once you enter the second level of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure, there is no way out. The scene was silent. At that time, we will compete with the immortals. Although everyone here has the body of a half-immortal, compared to the immortals, it is a completely different concept. The difference is like heaven and earth. An immortal can kill countless mortals with one finger. Xiaofan became more and more serious. In our plane, there are more than 100 immortals who will be teleported to the second level of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure with us. As for the other ordinary planes, the number of immortals who will be teleported to the second level of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure will be uncountable. With so many immortals, they will also compete crazily. In other words, even immortals may die in the second level of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure. Then, us mortals, to be honest, the future is not that bright. Mortals dying is a very normal thing. Xiaofan's gaze swept across Wu Yunyu and the others one by one. Among you, there are my elders, my friends, my senior martial brothers. Then, to be honest, even if I, Xiaofan, do my best to protect you, there is still a possibility that you will die, and the possibility is very high. After all, I do not have any advantage in the competition with the immortals. I do not have any immortal treasures in my hands. Even if I do, I will not be able to use its power. Then, one last question. Everyone, do you insist on teleporting to the second level of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao, or do you want to stay in this plane? After saying this, the mortals looked at each other, and then, Xiaofan, I insist on it. Life is short. An opportunity like this to search for immortal fate is hard to come by. If we miss it this time, we will miss it forever. Forget it, let's go and take a look. Even if we die in the second level of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure, we will die without regrets. We are willing to take the risk. Even if we die, we must go. All the mortals began to cry out in low voices, showing their strong will. If that is the case, then, everyone, settle down. Half a month later, we will teleport directly. In the last half a month before the teleportation, Xiaofan spent all his time with his family. Originally, Xiaofan wanted his wives to go with him, but he gave up on this idea in the end. Xiaofan did not want to lose any of his family members. He did not want them to use their lives to test and gamble. After some persuasion, his wives finally agreed to stay. Moreover, Jia Lanzi also gave them a treasure to protect the mountain of clouds and rain. This made it so that even if a level 1 or 2 true immortal came, they would not be able to pose any threat to the mountain of clouds and rain and harm anyone in the mountain of clouds and rain. Half a month passed quickly. Finally, the day of teleportation arrived. The sun had risen. The main peak of the mountain of clouds and rain. Under the first rays of dawn, Xiaofan, Jia Lanzi, more than 100 immortals, and more than 100 mortals gathered. Everyone, the teleportation is about to begin. The power of the celestial key in my body is already stirring and is about to burst out. Xiaofan shouted loudly. Everyone, please come closer to me now. Later, when the power of the celestial key bursts out, it will form a teleportation array with a radius of 100 meters. Brother Xiao. Jia Lanzi led the group of immortals and approached Xiaofan. Wu Yunyu also led the group of mortals and approached Xiaofan. Not long after, poof! 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 From the pores of Xiaofan's cells, rays of light and auspicious qi suddenly shot out. The great power of teleportation flowed out. P.S. I recommend a superb book. God of Peacock, everyone can read it. It is very good. Chapter 6:16. Finally, the day of the transfer to the second level of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure had arrived. Inside Xiaofan's body, the 2 immortal keys shot out beautiful beams of light, and a powerful teleportation power spread out like waves. Everyone, gather around me. Xiaofan shouted. Ibdu. At this moment, be it immortals like Jia Lanzi or mortals like Crow, they were all trembling and gathering towards Xiaofan. That's amazing. This was the supreme divine ability of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao. Just an immortal key alone was able to emit such a mysterious teleportation force. No wonder he was one of the top immortal emperors in the history of the immortal world. Odd. I'm impressed. Many immortals sighed in admiration. At this moment, the other mortals of the Pure Cloud sect who did not participate in the teleportation were also observing the ceremony in the nearby area. Some of them even burned incense and prayed for Xiaofan and Wuxia's safety. Xiaofan's wives held on to Xiaoan's hand as they looked at Xiaofan from afar and waved at him. The entire Great Harmony mountain range was filled with a strong feeling of parting. Don't worry. I'll be back. Xiaofan promised his wife and son solemnly. Pooh. Puff. Puff. Pft. Beams of light began to intertwine and mix together to form immortal runes. These runes collided in the air, producing crisp and melodious sounds like pearls and jade falling to the ground. Every immortal talisman character was filled with an indescribable power, a power that could distort time and space. After that, the dense expanse of immortal talisman characters formed a formation according to some special rhythm and rules. Spatial Transfer Array. In this teleportation array, there was a wormhole that seemed like a bottomless pit squirming. This spacetime wormhole. To the second level of the Ju Dao Immortal Emperor's treasure trove. Ha 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 ha, young man. Let's start exploring. Immortal Emperor Ju Dao sent a trace of divine sense. It echoed in Xiaofan's mind, filled with excitement. Let's begin. Xiaofan did not waste any time and directly stepped into the spacetime wormhole at the center of the teleportation array. Jia Lanzi and the other immortals, as well as the mortals and heroes, all followed closely behind. Xiao, with Xiaofan in the lead, the figures disappeared into the spacetime wormhole. Xiaofan. You have to come back. Remember. Nothing must happen to you. Mo Qingtong's voice reverberated above the main peak of the Unity mountain range. Meanwhile, in other ordinary human planes, the teleportation was in progress. In one of the planes, a large number of human heroes surrounded dozens of noble immortals. They entered the teleportation array one by one and shouted, "Immortal Emperor Ju Dao's treasure belongs to true experts. We must obtain this invincible immortal's luck." In another plane, there were several hundred mortals and several hundred immortals in the midst of teleportation. This plane had obtained a teleportation quota. It was several times more than the number of teleportation slots in Xiaofan's dimension. In fact, it was understandable if one thought about it. Although Xiaofan had obtained the most precious purple immortal key, he was the only one who had performed outstandingly in the genius zone of his plane. His other companions had been rather mediocre. As for this plane, there were more than 10 chivalrous heroes who had obtained immortal keys of different quality. Thus, this plane had obtained more teleportation slots. You mortals, listen up. After entering the second level of Immortal Emperor Ju Dao's treasure, you must listen to us immortals. Don't act blindly. In another plane, an immortal shrouded in mist said sternly, "Don't worry, I will do my best to protect you in this adventure. In the end, I will share the profits with you." Yes. A large group of mortals and some immortals answered in a hoarse voice. In another plane, an immortal in purple armor with eyes as bright as stars said coldly, "You mortals, in these years, I have done my best to nurture you. I have also helped you refine the magic treasures you obtained in the Genius Zone, causing your strength to greatly increase, far surpassing the Tower Masters in the mortal world. Next, it is time for you to serve me. Listen up, after entering the second level of Immortal Emperor Ju Dao's treasure, kill anyone who obstructs us. Even if it is an immortal, don't be afraid. Attack directly. Understand? Yes. Lord Purple Scale. A group of mortals with extremely crazy auras held magic treasures and immortal weapons in their hands. Their eyes were red as they screamed. Beside the immortal in purple armor, there was a large group of powerful and cold immortals with boiling battle intent. The moment the teleportation started, countless immortals and mortals were teleported into the second level of Immortal Emperor Ju Dao's treasure. Xiaofan was teleporting. In the dark and deep spacetime wormhole, the teleportation could not be completed in a short period of time. After all, from Xiaofan's plane to Immortal Emperor Ju Dao's lair was an extremely long journey. If one did not rely on the teleportation formation and only flew in the vast universe, it would be difficult to reach the destination even after tens of thousands of years. However, during the teleportation process, it was extremely uncomfortable. One would feel that the space was collapsing, and one's mental strength was being squeezed uncomfortably. Xiaofan tried his best to condense the mental strength star in his sea of consciousness into a ball. He held his breath and did not leak out. He thought to himself, it is indeed uncomfortable for mortals to teleport such a long distance. I wonder if it is easier for immortals. He did not know how many days had passed. Boom. A bright light suddenly appeared in front of Xiaofan. The feeling of the space collapsing disappeared bit by bit. After that, his feet were firmly on the ground. Immediately after, Xiaofan heard the sounds of breathing, panting, and talking. We are here. Finally, we are here. Hiss. There are so many immortals. They are densely packed, everywhere. That planet in front is Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's lair? Xiaofan calmed his mind and then he looked away. In his field of vision, the colorful light spots quickly dissipated, allowing Xiaofan to see everything around him clearly. Xiaofan was extremely familiar with the scene in front of him. Xiao Mingchu and many elders must be extremely familiar with each other. It was still the huge land floating in the universe. Last time, when Xiaofan and the others came to the Genius Zone to explore, they first teleported to this land. Xiaofan still remembered that after the exploration of the Genius Zone, he was still on this land. He swept everything and killed countless Tower Master-level monsters. Xiaofan looked around. Just like last time, the surroundings were filled with black heads. It was densely packed, all of them were people. However, what was different from last time was that there were many immortals among the people gathered this time. At this moment, the entire land was filled with immortal qi and strange phenomena. The multicolored light and auspicious aura were really a deluge of heavenly flowers. Golden lotuses emerged from the ground. The immortals and mortals who teleported over from the plains stood in a clear division. Xiaofan scanned with his mental energy and quickly observed. There were more than 100,000 immortals on this land. There were also many mortals, definitely more than 100,000. Some of these immortals had profound auras. Some were sage-like. Some were unfathomable. Some were one with heaven and earth. TSK, the number of immortals has actually reached 100,000. Xiaofan could not help but click his tongue. Previously, the exploration of the Genius Zone had tens of millions of elite mortals. Seriously speaking, the number of people who entered the second level of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure was only a few 100,000, far less than the last time. However, this time, there were more than 100,000 immortals. This was extremely shocking and terrifying. More than 100,000 immortals were many times more powerful than tens of millions, hundreds of millions, or even trillions of elite mortals. Xiaofan looked at Jialanzi, Taotai, Wuli, and the others beside him. He smiled bitterly and said to Jialanzi, "Brother Jialanzi, I also predicted that there would be a large number of immortals participating in this expedition, but I never expected it to reach 100,000, well." Jialanzi smiled. "Brother Xiao, you should know that for this expedition, all the more outstanding young immortals of this generation from all the sects in the immortal world have come. The immortals you see before you now represent the current young power of the entire immortal world. TSK. I also see many familiar faces." Jialanzi could not help but sweep his gaze across the crowd. Right in front of this floating land was a black planet. There were countless seals and restrictions on the surface of this black planet, but traces of ethereal and majestic immortal aura seeped out from within. "Brother Jialanzi, Brother Taotai, Sect Master, that black planet is Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's lair. It is divided into a total of 4 layers. The innermost layer contains Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's most precious treasures. Now, we are about to enter the second layer of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure trove. There are also many rare treasures there," Xiaofan explained. "Yes, although my immortal consciousness cannot penetrate the interior of the black planet, I can vaguely feel that there are great mysteries and mysteries hidden within." Jialanzi's face was full of admiration. "Amazing! Only a great figure like Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao would have the resources to create such a planetary lair." Now, we must wait for the restrictions on the surface of the Black Planet to open, Tao Tai said with a look of anticipation. I wonder what kind of rules and opportunities there will be inside. At the same time, standing on this continent, many mortals and monsters couldn't help but look in Xiaofan's direction. Moreover, the eyes of some of the mortals were filled with resentment and hatred. Xiaofan. Bastard! After the Genius Zone last time, Xiaofan was unscrupulous and killed the Tower Masters of my dimension. My Tower Master died in Xiaofan's hands. Evil creature. Our dimension's #1 genius, Naga, was also killed by Xiaofan. This bastard, he was strong at the beginning. We did not dare to argue with him for fear of being killed by him. But in these 10 years, I have made great progress. I even refined a fairy weapon that I obtained from the Genius Zone with the help of the Immortals. Xiaofan, this time, I will kill you. The few of us were killed by Xiaofan. Damn it! Last time, Xiaofan, with his own strength, killed a large number of demons and tower masters on this continent. He also made countless enemies. Now, these enemies were even begging the Immortals next to them. Esteemed Immortals, that young man over there is Xiaofan. Back then, he committed all sorts of crimes and started a massacre. He even killed some of the elders of our plane. Immortals, please uphold justice. Immortals, Xiaofan is known as the #1 genius in the mortal world. He once obtained many treasures in the Genius Zone. How can he have these treasures? Almost in an instant, Xiaofan had become the focus of everyone's attention on the entire continent. To be continued. Chapter 617. At this moment, countless pairs of eyes filled with hatred and resentment focused on Xiaofan. The atmosphere grew tense. The air was thick with the smell of gunpowder, and one could vaguely sense the flickering of swords and blades. Indeed, most of the human heroes present hated Xiaofan to the bone. Back when Xiaofan had come out of the Genius Zone, countless pagoda lords and elders had come from various planes to suppress him, hoping to benefit from him. Because of that, Xiaofan had no choice but to go on a killing spree. Now, many of the heroes present had had their sect elders killed by Xiaofan, and he'd even killed their close friends and family. There were also some who had no grudges with Xiaofan, but had improved a lot in the past few years. They couldn't bear to see Xiaofan in the limelight, so they wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to knock him down a peg or two. As for the Immortals who descended to other planes, they immediately understood that the indifferent, harmless-looking youth was Xiaofan. Xiaofan's name had spread throughout the immortal world. Many Immortals knew that Xiaofan had won the title of Best Genius in the Genius Zone and the only purple immortal key. Back when the Immortals of the immortal world had assigned the younger generation to the mortal world, they'd gone through a test. Any young immortal with a slightly more powerful background had actually descended to Xiaofan's plane. As a result, the Immortals who descended to other planes had subconsciously felt some indignation and jealousy toward Xiaofan, and even the Immortals who descended to Xiaofan's plane. Now that Xiaofan seemed to have aroused public anger, the Immortals who descended to other planes took the opportunity to whisper among themselves, "Oh? That guy is Xiaofan, known as the #1 genius among mortals. He's the purple immortal key. But he looks ordinary, and there's nothing special about him. Look, the one standing next to Xiaofan is Jialanzi, the pride of our immortal world. Humph. Today's descent is very unfair. Immortals like us who don't have powerful backgrounds don't have the right to descend to Xiaofan's plane. Instead, some useless things who relied on flattery to obtain the right to descend to Xiaofan's plane. Damn it. Everyone. Look, Xiaofan doesn't seem to have a good reputation among these mortals. Many of them seem to want to kill Xiaofan. How about this? Before the second level of the Celestial Emperor's treasure is opened, we'll secretly support these mortals to deal with Xiaofan. The Celestial Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure has yet to open. Yes. Once Xiaofan is defeated, then Jialanzi and the other immortals will be slapped in the face by us. Ahahaha. Jia Lanzi and the others thought that they could look down on us just because they had descended to Xiaohan's plane. How foolish. If this Xiaohan is ruthlessly trampled and humiliated, then Jia Lanzi and the other immortals will lose all face. That's right. In our immortal world, Jia Lanzi was a supreme genius who always had the upper hand. Even we couldn't do anything to him. But now, to be able to make Jia Lanzi suffer through these puny mortals is something to be happy about. On Xiaohan's side. Junior brother Xiaohan, I think that most of the monsters gathered here don't seem to be very friendly to you. Xiao Mingchu whispered. It's more than unfriendly. Dongfang Qin also whispered. It looks like they all want to rush over and fight junior brother Xiaohan. Xiaohan didn't care and smiled at Jia Lanzi. Brother Jia Lanzi, before this, I have killed some people on this land. So, brother Jia Lanzi, do you understand? Well, since ancient times, geniuses have been envied by others. I understand. Jia Lanzi was even more relaxed, not worried about the situation getting out of control. What a joke. Xiaohan had a special dual attribute immortal body. If these mortals dared to jump around in front of Xiaohan, they would all die. No matter how many came, they would all die. Moreover, Jia Lanzi also felt the hostility of the immortals who had descended to other planes, but Jia Lanzi remained unmoved like a mountain, still smiling freely. Xiaohan and Jia Lanzi's bearing made Wu Yu and the others gasp in admiration. With my help, the few of you have refined some Dharma treasures, said an indifferent red-robed immortal, instigating a few lowly mortals beside him. Your attacks are definitely top-notch in the mortal world. Even if you face a level 1 true immortal, if you catch him off guard, you can still kill him. Go provoke Xiaohan and humiliate him. But remember, don't kill Xiaohan. If you do, Jia Lanzi will definitely go crazy. A mortal with a square face licked his lips and said in a trembling voice, Okay, Lord Star Sun, leave this matter to me. Back then, my master died a tragic death at Xiaohan's hands. This lowly one once swore to avenge master. Fortunately, with Milord's help, this lowly one managed to refine a very powerful magic weapon. Now, I will trample on Xiaohan as if he was an ant. Let me do it. But don't worry, I will only humiliate Xiaohan, not take his life. When we enter the second level of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure, I will find an opportunity to kill Xiaohan. Good. The indifferent immortal in red nodded in satisfaction, then gave Jia Lanzi a sinister look. Boom! In the blink of an eye, the square-faced evil cultivator stepped into the air and floated above Xiaohan. His eyes burned like torches as he stared at Xiaohan aggressively. Xiaohan! You bastard! What did you say? Upon hearing this, Xiaohan's slaves, the people of the Pure Cloud sect, and the elders and evil cultivators in Xiaohan's world all glared at him and roared. Xiaohan waved his hand slightly, signaling for everyone to be silent. Then, Xiaohan took a step forward and looked at the square-faced evil cultivator with an arrogant and disdainful expression on his face. Jia Lanzi and the other immortals stood behind Xiaohan in silence, their eyes expressionless. Xiaohan! You son of a bitch! Do you know who I am? The square-faced evil cultivator's eyes were spitting fire. Who are you? Xiaohan pretended to look at the square-faced evil cultivator carefully, then shook his head blankly. I don't remember, I think I'm some random Tom, Dick, or Harry. Xiaohan, you. The square-faced evil cultivator was furious. Xiaohan, you're still the same as before, so unbridled, still so arrogant, so insufferably arrogant, you really know how to act. That's right, back then, you were indeed extraordinarily brave. In the Genius Zone, I didn't dare to participate in the final phase of the samsara battle of life and death, but you did. Moreover, you killed all the powerful enemies and had the last laugh. Moreover, after you came out, you swept through everything. Truly impressive. That's right, back then, you were indeed abnormally strong. However, things change and time change. The current you is truly laughable. How dare you continue to be arrogant like this? After a pause, the square-faced evil cultivator bared his teeth. Xiaofan, back then, my master died tragically at your hands. Now, I'd like to have a battle with you. Do you dare? Don't worry, you have immortals with you, so I won't kill you. I'll only fight you. Do you dare? Xiaofan, do you dare to fight to your heart's content? The square-faced evil cultivator's voice was resounding, as if he was about to get his revenge. Xiaofan, aren't you a great hero? Xiaofan, aren't you dominating the world? Do you dare to fight? If you don't dare, then admit that you're a coward. Coward. At this moment, the second floor of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure hadn't opened yet. Therefore, all the mortals and immortals on this floating continent were focused on it. Some of the immortals were secretly communicating with each other. Son of the stars, you seem to have trained this mortal before. How strong is he? Can he defeat Xiaofan? We're going to slap Jia Lanzi and the other immortals in the face, son of the stars. That's why this mortal has to succeed in challenging Xiaofan. If he fails, he'll be humiliated instead of slapping faces. The red-robed immortal, the son of the stars, said with a confident smile. Don't worry, all of you. This mortal has refined an extremely powerful immortal tool with my help. Once he uses it, he'll have no problem killing any mortals. Furthermore, due to the mortal's fate horoscope being extremely compatible with the immortal artifact, he was able to refine it perfectly. Let's put it this way, none of the mortals here are his match. With that immortal tool, he can kill mortals as easily as slaughtering pigs and dogs. He's invincible among the mortals. Besides, even if Jia Lanzi helped Xiaofan refine the immortal tool, he still wouldn't be able to stop him. As everyone knows, it's extremely difficult for mortals to refine treasures from the immortal world. The most important thing is whether or not their soul can fuse with the treasure. The son of the stars was also an extremely powerful figure among the younger generation of the immortal world. However, his background wasn't as strong as Jia Lanzi's and the Firmament Emperor's, but he definitely had a sharp eye. Hearing the son of the stars' words, the immortals who were waiting to watch a good show relaxed. On the other side, Xiaofan and the square-faced immortal faced off against each other. Jia Lanzi suddenly said, "Stand down, mortal. Now's not the time to argue. Let's wait for the restriction on the second floor of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure to be opened." A group of immortals on the other side immediately mocked and shrieked. "Jia Lanzi, are you afraid? Ha 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 ha, there's no need for you to be afraid. It's just a small game between mortals. Let these two mortals play. They won't die anyway, ha ha ha." Jia Lanzi's lips curled into an imperceptible sneer and he fell silent. "Mortal Xiaofan, you claim to be the strongest among mortals. Do you dare to accept my challenge?" The son of the stars challenged Xiaofan directly. "We immortals don't interfere when you mortals fight." Ha 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 ha. Suddenly, Xiaofan laughed out loud and said fearlessly. "You want to fight me to the death? I'm not interested." As soon as the words were spoken, the entire continent was filled with mocking and mocking voices. Xiaofan's lips curled up.